Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop arguing me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts be true. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on Twitter. Do me a favor, share the living can't say that. The Beetlejuice out of this. Share the living Beetlejuice out of this, please. I would appreciate it. Hit that share, like, follow, all that type of stuff. We have Kathy and Chuck in the house. It's going to be a good show tonight. 4 people in studio. First time we've done. That's right. First time we've done this. Let's rock and roll. We'll see you in the opposite side of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Sorry, one more thing. Apologize. One more thing. If you see over on Rumble, it looks a little weird. I apologize. We are getting it all worked. They are renaming it the THE space dumb DUM capital show. And right now it says at the dumb show, all one word. They're going to move everybody over. So you might see some things change. It's not going to be Don't Unfriend Me anymore. Or it's not going to be the Don't Unfriend Me show. It's going to be at the dumb show. Just be patient. It's going to take them a couple days to transfer everything, but it will all be copacetic soon. So if you're over on Rumble, hang with us. It will all work out. If you want to find us right now, real easy, just type in at THEDUMSHOW with no spaces and you'll find us. Okay, cool. All copacetic. Great.
Hey, Matt, congratulations on your success, brother. And I really appreciate you giving, both sides, and just free speech, the opportunity to have a platform, dude.
Got it. You got it. Thanks for everything you've done for this country, Eli. We'll talk next time. Tell Jen hello, and I'll have this ready in a couple of hours, and you can share it and take a look. Thank you, man.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Yes, I put Chuck in the main image just to say hi. There's Chuck, folks. Welcome to Chuck.
Made it.
Yes.
Made it.
She is a
Took 10 months.
And Kathleen is also here. Kathleen, welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. She looks like my cousin Meg, and we were saying that earlier, that they look so much alike. It's actually a trip. So, Meg, I know you're probably watching. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show 4 across the board. We're pretty excited about it. Realize that we need to get another camera because this one's lagging. No big deal. We'll get it fixed. But obviously, March 13th, Friday the 13th, we have...
I totally forgot it was Friday the 13th.
I
today.
know. What a time to book them. Chuck and Kathy are here in the house. March 16th. Liv, walk us through the rest of the schedule for the month.
All right. Monday, Philip Hamilton, Virginia Senate candidate, will be in-house, which is awesome. March 26th, we will have a guest named Brian Cook. March 31st is Jessica Lynch. And April 6th is the older millennial, and I have a huge list of other people I'm working on. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably getting like 1 or 2 requests a week, if not 3 requests from people now, and it's really kind of cool seeing that the name's getting out there. So also a little bit of just some side information you may or may not have seen that I'm gonna put my hat on.
Okay.
It's Red Friday, and I realize I don't have my hat on. Last night we had around 97 to. I got to fix that. That's the one I forgot to fix. We just won't use it tonight. We had like 97 people on watching, and then on the Tim Pool's podcast, he had 56. So that's pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. So starting to see us, get out there, and it's not that Tim Pool. I mean, he has a lot of viewers on Rumble and everything else, but to see a live show at this time of night, it leads me to believe that it's probably a good idea to get a daytime show going too. Because his day show does very, very well, and I think we need to get into that fray. But that's a whole nother conversation. We're pretty excited. Right now, it's all about Chuck and Kathy in the house. Kathy was just saying before we came on, Kathleen was saying before we came on, geez, Matt, you're one of the nicest husbands I've ever seen. You're so kind. You're so loving. You're amazing. And I'm so impressed.
That
Kathleen,
sounds like fake news.
You're full of shit, too.
Olivia is so lucky to have you.
Silence! I kill you!
So she's like, I think she said something like, "Wow, you guys are all soft leather," and I think what that means is that we were supposed to be like tough at one point, but we've all beaten each other apart so much that we're now this soft, beautiful suede, and maybe it's our complexion too. But either way, she got a chance to see our family and during the show and what it's like ramping up. And honestly, that was extremely tame. Would you? Cut
yes.
That was pretty easy. That was a good one. Yes. Welcome to Virginia, you two. Why don't you introduce yourselves? Kathleen, you get to go first. Tell us who you are, why the hell you're here, and all this other stuff. And then, Chuck, you can have the floor. Go ahead.
Well, we're big fans of your show, as you know.
Yeah.
And my husband is a fairly decent contributor to the show because we love you so much.
Yes.
So you invited him and I tagged along.
Yeah. He actually invited himself. I didn't invite him, but it's cool. We are certainly fine with it.
Oh my! Well, now that I've seen your sarcasm the last couple of hours, I understand where you're coming from.
You should. Like, folks, I've tried this. People are like, oh, Matt's. He's not sarcastic. You guys have no idea. I am a sarcastic son of a bitch, and
the kids say if you look up sarcasm in the dictionary, the definition is going to be our last name. So.
It is. We said that at the table. Like if you come into the Spear household, there's 2 things you need to understand. One is that you've got to have thick skin, and second is the IQ prerequisite is actually bumped up a few notches in this house. We like to have some fun. So they've been here. I hope we've made you guys feel welcome. Chuck, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Well, Chuck Peterson. I think for those of you who are as on this show or watching this show as much as I do nightly, every night, look at the video recordings when I have to miss a night, you probably might know who I am. Yeah. With this all started, I mean, it's such a pleasure to be in the studio.
Yeah. His first reaction was interesting. I'm like, so what do you guys think? Like, it's small. I'm like,
well, it does.
It's not that small.
The camera puts more weight on you.
Thanks. See, isn't that the truth, though? Isn't it the truth?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, because, I get a headshot, and I have a huge head. I mean, that's the truth. There's no doubt about it. I got a big-ass noggin, but you don't get to see the rest of the frame, and I'm a pretty slender and fit guy, so it really pisses me off. That anyway, he said it was small, so I was like, "Hey, it's not that bad." Olivia thinks it's fine.
I immediately understood. I challenged his manhood, so I had to redirect my comment real quickly.
I was like, "What do you mean it's small?" The lift says it's a good size. I don't know what you're talking about. So Chuck, go ahead, man.
So for those of you who have been on here, I've been watching this show. I think a little over 2.5 years. And if you remember more than about a year and a half ago, Matt was in this little closet across the hallway there. I will talk about that.
Yeah.
And try and run a studio. And it was always, we need to expand, we need to expand, we need to do something to make this bigger, because, you know, he felt that was something that would open up the doors of the show, becoming even something greater than what it was at the time. And so I called up Matt, and actually I didn't do that. It was just IM, and I said, hey, I got a business proposition for you. And other people saw that, and they made Matt take a look. And so him and I talked about this, and I said, so dude, I will, let's do a show. Let's do a contribution show. Let's make this the biggest thing we've done at this point. And I will match all the donations up to $10,000.
Yeah.
And had the blessing of my wife. That's one of the reasons why she's sitting
What
here.
an amazing woman. I mean, seriously, my wife would never let me have that much of my own money. She would never let me have that much of my own money. Never.
So, you know, we agreed, and I pretty much let Matt run with it. He came to me a couple times and goes, you know, what do you think about format and what, and, you know, is this acceptable? And I never wanted to be the influencer behind the money influencer that also dictated what the show was supposed to be like. I always let Matt run this and do it the way he did it. And we finally, May 16th, I had Matt look up the date before we started tonight. And that was the night of the show to 20,000. And we got right there to within about, I want to, the goal was I would match up to 10, but if, you know, whatever it landed on, I would match that as well.
Yeah, it was 9,065.
Yeah.
And then Megan came in and she put in a cool 1,000.
Yeah, well,
and then we had like $400 after that.
Yeah, we were a little shy because I remember the speech I gave in that night, Matt.
Yeah, that worked.
And you know, I go, you want to know why I do this, and because I love what Matt does with the show, and I wish I had the talent and the knowledge and the wherewithal to be able to do something like that. And I was recently diagnosed with cancer, and that just rearranged my whole future existence. And so it was like, what do I do? And so I gave this long sob story that lasted probably 15 minutes until we pushed over
23.
23.
I clipped it. So like, it's that, dude. It's this thing. Go watch. Check it.
I'm sure it is.
It's 23 minutes, folks.
Until we hit the $10,000 goal, and that was it. And then Matt went to work, and within, I don't know, a couple months, just made this fantastic studio that I get to be part of. And so it is a goal for me to be here, to be part of the success. I'm not saying I'm the only person, because there were, you know, people out there who also gave $10,000 to make it a $20,000 show. There are people here who still contribute to the show, and I love you for what you do, and I know Matt does that. I couldn't be more impressed with Matt. And I'm willing just to see what Matt has in show for the future. He's got guests coming on like crazy. The Olivia's busy booking up someone almost every night of the week, and it's so wonderful to see something that I contributed, that you guys have contributed to, grow and become what it is. And so, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Olivia.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being part of the show. You know, like and share.
Yeah.
Donate if you can.
Yep. Because, folks, he doesn't have his wallet on him. I've already checked. And if Chuck's not out in the audience, we might be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. But also, the real message of this is give us $10,000 and you can come on the show too. So that's listen. It's been amazing, and you know, I remember when I first got this thing, I was trying to drag people in here to show it to them because I was so damn proud of it. And I sometimes forget what we have here and how incredible it is. It's really neat to see everything work and to see Olivia just like what she's doing behind scenes. And I see Kathleen watching her going, holy shit. Like Olivia does a lot. She's incredible. And it's just it's a cool thing to see the behind the scenes. And this is open to anyone. We don't care. We'd love to have you here. And so if anybody's interested, 10,000. So,
can I just add one thing?
Please, of course you can.
When Chuck first mentioned just tonight, or you repeated that he said that it was small. And if you remember
it's
what
not
I
that
said,
small. It's a good size. Olivia said so.
Don't make me laugh.
All
I'll
right.
start coughing.
Yes, ma'am.
But anyway, real quickly, when we came in tonight to see this beautiful studio, and it's so expressive, and if you could just walk around and look at everything, there's just so much here, and there's so much of Matt and Olivia and how they feel, and all of that. But the point is, when you look at this program from your computer, from your phone, from whatever you're looking at, the live stream, it looks huge. It looks like this big old room. I was figuring he did this in the garage, made the garage into a big studio. And then when you walk in here and you can almost like go like this from, wall to wall. And it was just shocking. And we both kind of said, wow, it's so small. Yeah. That's not really what we meant.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We're only going to carry it around for us for at least 6 more months. That's fine.
He's going to talk about it.
She's
very
absolutely
impressive.
right. And see, the funny thing is we thought about co-oping a lot of different places. We were going to build off the house. We were going to build like a he
underneath
shed.
the patio.
And this made more sense. And the biggest fear was, can we get these cameras far enough back in a room that's only 12 feet wide? The 21 feet is fine. It's the 12 that's the problem, but we made it work, and it's efficient and it does the job. And honestly, this will carry us to, until we have to get $100,000 to our next. I mean, this is what Sean Ryan was using, something very similar to this in his show. It was a little bit deeper. Another 10 feet that way. But listen, it's what we've got. It's in our home. It's comfortable. It's perfect on the entrance. It's like you walk in and it doesn't feel like you're going into a house. You just take a left and it's right there. So, so your first reactions, we're just kidding around. We don't care about that. We know you guys are comfortable because you guys got here and it was awesome having you. So,
well, and I would also add, the backdrop, the colors work well. I'm sure that was a lot of Matt and Olivia.
Yes, I try to go ahead and make my inner colors come out.
But it creates this very home feel, like you are in someone's living room and having the show, and it doesn't feel sterile like so many other podcasts are.
Yeah.
So great job here.
Well, we appreciate it. That's what a lot. Listen, one of the things that's really kind of undiscovered is we did raise short of about 21,000 that night, and we put an additional 9,000 into this.
Yeah, you did.
We put and trust me, it got to a point where I was going to kill my electrician because that's the only thing I called and relied on anyone for, and he botched it. But we did. I would say 95% of this was us, and
except for the stuff we absolutely couldn't do.
Well, the electrical's that's the only thing.
Electrical's the main one.
That was it. The electrical, because we had to rewire every light. We had to put in 12 different outlets. We had to increase the bus on the electrical box in the garage. I mean, this is a project, and we're pushing a ton of wattage in here.
Yeah, and your dad reminded you how to build the doors.
Yeah, isn't that weird? That's the one thing I remember all the time is just that, like, I think that was probably the one thing that just got me healing with my own father is that he wasn't here. He was dead. I never said goodbye. But every time I hit a roadblock, and I'm talking, all of a sudden you hit a firewall, not a proverbial firewall, but the real firewall. And you're like, I now have metal, and I've got to anchor 47 planks to this thing. How am I going to do this? And just okay, I'm going to put, instead of one 22-foot beam here, I've got 4 of them, and now I've got to somehow box the end, measure the center, get it all tapped, make sure it's level. And I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I don't know how to put up, lighting systems and stuff. And I had no idea how to mount these TVs like this, but everything. I've never put up a farm door in my life, and that is a task in itself. And it just was literally just sitting down, staring at it, and just taking a breath. And surprisingly enough, we had some at the end there. We had some pretty emotional nights where I just had enough, and it was like 30 days in this room, and I just felt the pressure. But most of the time it was just, we went to work and we got it done. So
Yeah.
it was a great experience. I have no desire to do it ever again.
No.
We're gonna hire somebody.
Yes.
So, well, listen, I love it. Now, I think people, you know, you're very open and honest with your cancer diagnosis. I want to say thank you to everybody who's donating. CJ Jenkins, 2110. Chuck, thank you so much for your kindness to the Dumb Show. And you too, sir, have an awesome voice, doesn't he?
Thank you. Thank you. I've had this voice, in grade school. I was the one kid who could not whisper because no matter where I was in the room, you heard this, blah, 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 and it was just a curse. And it's followed me, and I did some singing with it. Barbershop Quartet was the big challenge for that. I looked into broadcasting, but it always made more money than broadcasting had to offer at the time.
Yep.
And so just like, you know, I thought maybe I would do it when I retire. Now I got doctor's appointments out the butt. So you know what? You want to make friends? Get cancer.
So that's
we can have them record like little snips for the show.
Yeah, you know what? That's a
Totally.
great idea. Is because there's plenty of sound bites that I need. You should even do a little intro before you leave for the show, and we can play it.
Absolutely.
But so how's the fight going? I know most of the viewers know that you are fighting through cancer, and it's been a road, and we're about a year removed. So you look great.
Well, thank you. I feel great. You know, considering the overall reality of where I'm at. I'll start in the very beginning. What I have is bladder cancer. I didn't even know you can get bladder cancer.
No, I didn't know that either.
I was stunned. And I had no symptoms, none whatsoever. You know, I had the typical, I'm 68 years old, was diagnosed at 67. So I had, you know, the difficulty urinating and, you know, every time I get a finger up, you know where.
Yeah.
And they go, well, you know, it's not your prostate. And, okay. Well,
that type of finger. Sorry, Liv. I was thinking. I was like, yeah, and finish the story because I don't understand. You mean a physical? Never mind. Sorry, my bad.
And little did we, my doctors or I knew that this was developing silently. I work remotely for a big pharmaceutical company as a fire life safety engineer. We had this, I've been doing this for several years, and we had this big corporate meeting. I had to come in and wear dress clothes, and I haven't been in a suit and tie in years. So
You're a biker.
I am a biker. That's right.
Yeah, you got now you're a Harley guy, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got your cut and everything, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
so he's full bike, and so does Kathleen. They both have cuts.
Yeah.
I was watching them. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get stabbed, or you know, we're gonna have a like tell them I'm with the Flaming Devils or something, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, start doing West Side Stories.
Our group is a good representation of how bikers are not all like that.
Okay, so all right, so now I feel like a dick. All right, so anyway,
right.
They're the good bikers, and yes, they look wonderful. By the way, I was just teasing.
We're a motorcycle rights organization for those of you who would like to check a bait of California out. Anyway,
it's awesome.
Get back to the story. So I had a very tight pair of pants on and went to work, and they were just slightly uncomfortable, but nothing too difficult. Went home that evening, and I emptied my bladder, and it was 100% blood. I will put it that way. So that took me right into the doctor's office, and that's when they said, you got bladder cancer, it's stage 4, it's metastasized, and this is terminal. I went from tight pants to that in a heartbeat.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, like, I think most guys at some point or another, when they're going to the bathroom, doesn't matter which one, that there might be some like blood in the stool, or they might have that in their urine. for one reason or another. It could be an infection, could be whatever.
Yep.
Yes, go ahead.
Yep.
Yes,
Kathleen.
and let me help fill in the blanks just a little bit, because blood in the urine, especially for men, is very common. Men's bladders are much more sensitive. You can wear a tight belt one day.
Yep.
You can have vigorous sex. You can strain too hard when you go to the bathroom.
There
blah
it is,
blah
Liv.
blah.
Now we know. Now we know why.
And he did all those things. So anyway, when he had the blood in the urine, and we kind of blew it off for 2 or 3 weeks, and it would come and go. And people need to know this. So there's men in the audience that don't hear, oh yeah, he peed blood and all of a sudden he had cancer.
Yes.
So we kind of ignored it. It was blood one day, no blood the next day, kind of like that for a while. But it kept becoming more common. Went to the doctor 2 or 3 weeks later, a great doctor that we have, and she started testing him for infection, for other things, really not having anything in her head that would say cancer.
Right.
Antibiotics. So we were probably almost another a month to 6 weeks before the diagnosis came. And I'll say, because if you remember, sweetheart, you got to the point where you couldn't urinate. So we went to the hospital, and they cathetered him, and they started running tests. And it was then in July, end of July, that they said, oh, something's going on with your bladder. And the cancer had grown to where the urethra coming out of the bladder got stuck, got solid, and he couldn't pass urine. So that's where it started.
The tumor was right over my urethra and
so
my
that's
bladder.
where it started, and that's how.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just bleed one day and the next day it's got cancer. And it took a while then with the CT scan and all that to figure out that it had actually metastasized. And so
the question that I have, and we're getting some phone calls, folks, and we're going to take phone calls, but not right now. We're just going to keep going through this, and then we can take some. You're reading chat, Yoda. Mother has lung cancer. It's terrifying, and I'm so very, very sorry. We are going to be taking some phone calls. It's just going to lag even more if I do it. But if you want it, I'll do it.
No.
So can I ask the question?
Sure.
I really wanted to try to get this question in, but I'm also trying to run a show at the same time. So pardon me. As a guy, like I said, sometimes it's normal to see that, but that amount is like, that's got to be just absolutely terrifying, because you know the difference. As you know your body, you know who you are, and so your first reaction was what?
Holy shit!
Yeah, right.
It wasn't just a little bit.
Yeah,
it was all blood and dark and coagulated, and then the scarring developed, because what I did is basically irritated it. So the scarring developed, and that's when Kathleen said they went in and they tried to catheter me. They couldn't get the catheter through. And let me tell you, people, there is nothing more painful than trying to put a catheter in you, and they can't, because the tumor is virtually blocking the opening into my bladder. And so they kept trying. And I said, well, maybe we should take an X-ray and really kind of look at this first.
Right. And there's like, really? That's a great idea. That's hey, we didn't. Holy shit! Are you a doctor?
They did. And so when they looked at they took an X-ray, they realized, well, that's where the tumor is, and they're trying to pass through the tumor.
Right.
And then it became this longer process, but they finally got it out. So got it through and got me drained, and what a relief of pressure that was. So there's my new problem. And so I've been on a journey for about 1.5 years. I am now on my 3rd chemo drug. When I was first saw my oncologist, I asked him, well, what does this look like? And he goes, well, you'll never get rid of this. It's metastasized, so it's in you. It's terminal. So I put that. I have to put things in little mental boxes, and that's what I did. I'm in a box. Best I can do is walk these 4 walls and make them as long as I can, and get the most out of them, because eventually this will consume me. I'm on my third drug. The beauty of this drug is it's non-infusion. I take it as a pill. It's doing a great job of keeping this. This is Chuck Luck, people. Of keeping this tumor, this cancer that doesn't like to live in the brain. Doesn't like to live in the brain. It keeps it out of my body. However, I now have 5 tumors in my brain. I'm like one of 2% of people who actually have dealt with this, and so now that's what this new drug is supposedly going to help us with. They still have some things that now have me in clinical trials, looking at things, and when I hear clinical trials, I just see the walls shortening up.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is I've done 2 great things. Well, yes, 2 great things in my life. I married this lovely woman.
Mm.
Oh, my big tough guy's going to give you a tear or two. It's amazing. My tough biker. Yeah.
I don't think you guys liked it when I said tough biker, so I'm not going to say that anymore. I'm going to say kind, loving, emotional biker. Hand him a Kleenex.
Well, he's still a brat a lot.
Yeah, I live my youth out on her, and I was lucky enough to invest appropriately, and that's the reason why I was able to help the show as much as I do. And so now I see doctors almost daily, and I have to really,
Seems like it.
Yeah.
I have to take time off of my chemo regimens or find a gap in it. I've been to South Africa with some friends and some safaris. What a wonderful thing. We went to Italy. We now have a trip to the Mediterranean, Rome, Greece. And,
Not Turkey.
well, yeah, Istanbul is like one of the last stops.
I was telling Chuck, I said, listen, if it has an Apple store, you're good. And Istanbul does have an Apple store, and that's a good sign. But
Okay.
But northern Turkey, no. Southern Turkey, you should be okay. So you're in the Med. There's a reason why they got a full carrier group there. You've got 11 different ships. I think you guys are going to be okay.
And I will finish this. I'm sure I'm not going to finish because I'm sure there's going to be questions and comments. But I find myself blessed to have my termination in my future. I can see it coming. Most people don't get that opportunity. It's taken from them in an instant. And live your life like it's your last day.
Were you one of those people who would rather have not known or known before?
I was pissed off. I hated God and everybody else. It's like, why me? And why did my doctors catch us? I had all the reasons to be pissed off and felt that I have been cheated in life. But, you let those things go. You find your faith in God again. And
we openly talk about the end as well, and I truly believe that helps. And that's why I say that out loud to anybody who's in that situation. We openly talk about the what ifs and the whens and the whys, and it feels bad. And sometimes we have some tequila and drink and cry and talk, but it really helps to have it out there as opposed to holding it in, especially with a big, bad, tougher back asshole biker dude.
So, gosh, I just said you guys were gonna like pull a knife. I mean, you guys are meaner to each other than I was. So, is it the end? Now, have you hold on, you gotta let me do my job. So, I've been really patient. So shut up for a second. I mean, gosh.
all right.
Wah. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
That's a fault of mine.
Have you? No, you're good. This is why you're here, and it's like this is important to me. Like out of all the interviews I've done, this is the only one I want to get right. So I don't really care about the rest. Have you had that time you've reconciled with humanity, you've reconciled with your mortality, you've reconciled with financial means, seems like you are checking the bucket list and getting all the experiential type things checked. The question is spiritually, have you been able to either reconcile, strengthen, or have a hope to begin a relationship with God?
Well, I've asked myself that question. The first thing is, did I ever really believe him? I've always been somewhat a religious person. My experiences with church back then were terrible. They were monetary structures that were there to take your offerings and give very little in return. And so, but Matt, what is giving yourself to God, and at what level, degree, what are the facets of that? And I still struggle with that. I do pray. I don't pray for myself.
Right. Because what else are you going to do?
Same thing with me.
Well, I think it's a sin to pray for yourself. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't disagree with you in any way, shape, or form. When I pray, it's for others, and very seldom have I been selfish enough to say. Yeah. Well, there's been a couple situations where I say, "God, please get me out of this." There's no doubt. I've said those words, but there's no atheist in a foxhole. You know what I mean? And when you hear the general quarters sound, and you know that there's vessels out there that aren't very happy with you, you start going, holy crap, my mortality, or other things in my life, and going through my back and surgeries and addiction, and there's times. But I think that's when you're at a time that when you're at your most selfless, that God understands some selflessness and some little bit of selfishness at the same time. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you answered my question, so I'm going to try one more time.
Okay.
Do you feel like that's something you're going to try for? Do you feel like you have tried for?
Yes.
Or you're in a good spot?
I need to do better. I want to do better.
Okay.
Like I said, understanding that this is a gift, that God has given me. To know that I can see it, I can plan it, I can share it. I'm going to have a party, and I'm going to, videotape myself, and it'll be played at my funeral or my wake. It won't be a funeral. But I need to pray better and more often. We need to read the Bible more. I really should return to church, but and I have Kathleen's daughter's family, very religious. They have a great church, and I'm sure they would receive me, but they know that's something I have to do at my own pace. But yeah,
I wish Pastor Jack was here, but there's a reason he's not, and I truly believe that, and I will tell you what he told me. You're ready. Just give yourself. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't need church for that. You have the touch of God to your left.
Yes.
And I had to realize that I had the touch of God to my right. And he brought Olivia into my life, brought my children into brought both of you into my life. And I didn't even ask for those things. So I think if you just, Chuck, you're here for a reason, man. And to think about all of this, to think about, all of it, there's a reason, and we probably will never experience why, and we don't know why. But, my daughter very well could, be president one day with her frickin' brain, and your influence and your help made that happen. And Kathleen might write a book one day, and it influences thousands, but we don't know. But that's where you've got to let go. And I think if he was here, he would say to you, you're worthy of his love. And, that's all you need to know. You're worthy of his love.
I am. Being a big bad biker, I've lived life in circles that most people dream of, and most people have nightmares of.
Yeah.
I like you had a very difficult parental environment. Mine was with my dad. Yours was with your mom. It left me with a big chip on my shoulder when I moved out on my own at the age of 17. I was pound sand. I'm out here. And it took a long time for me to get on the right path again. One of the worst things that attributes I had in my life is I always made good money. And if you always make good money, you can always buy good drugs. And if you always make good money and buy good drugs, you can make this shit last for a lifetime. And I pretty much just did that. And then it was finally going out to California where I wanted to make a change. And I said, well, like I lied to myself like everybody else does. It's my circle of friends. If I just get away from them, I won't have this problem anymore. I was in California.
That doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, I was in California within 6 months. I had a needle back in my arm. So that tells you where I was at. So
it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that was a big wake-up call, and that was the start of my recovery process, which I pretty much did on my own, but because that's what Petersons do. We hit our head against the wall until something breaks.
Yeah, Spears do it too, because $37,000 in a rehab in California with no insurance help is not probable, even when you work at Apple. I was like, you want me to spend what? No, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah. So I had a lot of skeletons in the closet, demons to deal with. This new diagnosis for me made me kind of pull them all out and look at them again. So, yeah, I mean, it's I have a long road to walk back to get to the place I want to be with God, but I am in His arms.
Good.
I know that I've accepted Jesus Christ, my Savior.
Good. The price is paid.
Yeah.
The price is paid, bud.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the, and you
can't,
forgiving ourselves, it's easy. It's easy for God to forgive us because He already has, but forgiving ourselves is the hardest part. And that's the path He wants you to walk. He wants you to have, some contrition for your actions and understanding that you can't be perfect. It's impossible. There's no way you can achieve, even though that's what He wants for you. But that's the reason why He died for us, is so through the eyes of God to look through Jesus at us and say, you're worthy. And that's why we're worthy,
Yes, but that's not the end of the travel, of the journey.
No.
Just like discussing it tonight on the show, maybe someone's going to see a parallel, maybe find some truth, have the guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Circles. They're like, that's it. Throw it in a pond and watch it cook. You guys are incredible, by the way. Liv, you got to get some of these put in because we've already.
I didn't want to interrupt the talking.
Of course not. Of course not. We don't want to interrupt the talking.
All right.
Kathleen, I got a question for you. How has Chuck changed since this? Because I have a feeling that there's been I'm not a prognosticator, I'm not a soothsayer or anything. I just feel that there's been roads and there's been bumps and there's been difficulty, and because I'm married, and I don't know if there's a perfect marriage out there, but how has this brought you guys? Because I just see the strength in you that continues to invest in Him. But how you talk about Him is like past tense of almost like, this is my big tough man, but that's not what we see. We see a man who's humble, who accepts what's happening, but you are such a huge part of that. So how has he changed, and how have you accommodated those changes as well?
Well, a lot of people are surprised to know, even our friends, our circle of people that we know, are surprised to know that Chuck and I have only been together 10 years. We've only been married. Last month will be 4 years.
Living in sin. Ooh, naughty.
Honestly, that's what drove me away from the church when I was 17, is because I had girlfriends who said, you're doing a bad thing and we can't be your friend anymore. And I thought, that can't be the way Jesus feels.
Yeah.
Just because I'm doing something bad doesn't mean I have to. Anyway.
Yeah. No,
you're
yes.
But, so I've always known him because we've got to know each other, as a really sexy, attractive, awesome.
I thought the same
big,
thing.
Bad
I'm with you.
Biker dude, right?
Yep. How long have you guys known each other? You've been together
10 years.
Just 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so there wasn't a before and after picture. This is like, we're talking about the sexy.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's another long story that Chuck would love to tell, but not in this environment. But anyway, how we met, blah, blah, blah. We just suffice it to say that we both looked at each other and went, yeah, you're it. And that was the first moment we met. So, okay.
Sounds familiar.
So,
Yeah, Olivia was in love with me the first moment she looked at me.
You were in love with me when you looked at a picture of me.
I wanted to have sex with you the first time I saw a picture of you. That's this transparency. And then I fell in love with you like 2 seconds afterwards when I saw you in person.
yeah. Sounds familiar. So
I'm a guy.
for a long time, I've known him to be the biker dude and the guy with a big heart. I mean, when he told me about his past, and then he said, the best parts of me are that I got from my mother, and his mother is amazing. So I've known this about him. I will say that the experience of having him, I just say be sick rather than having, having cancer, has brought us closer together. I guess that's the most important thing. It's made us closer. Mm-hmm. I'm really happy with the fact, again, and I'll repeat it again, that we are open about this. My family where we were really open. My dad had heart disease and was almost dying all the time. We talked openly about death, and it's hard to do it, but when you do it, it's easier to deal with it, live with it, figure it out, even if you have to cry about it. So we are closer. We are supportive, and I love him more than ever.
That's good. Liv?
And he expresses his appreciation for my caregiving in a way that he was not as appreciative in the beginning of our relationship, or didn't express it as much.
Right.
But he expresses his appreciation on a hourly basis.
Who wears the pants?
That's a struggle for us because
no bullshit. Who wears the pants? There's don't.
It is a struggle for me. I will tell you, because this is not my first marriage or my second or my third. Because I've always wanted, I am the old-fashioned woman that the man wears the pants and the woman is the supportive, blah, 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 blah. And I've always looked at Chuck as, I finally got one with really strong pants. And then he is pretty much like that, but we're starting to go back and forth now. Because
Kathleen, you wear the pants. I'm sorry.
Well,
I mean, for the love of God, can we just stop? Because you totally do. You're not a passive person. Do you think you're passive?
Ask Chuck. I don't express my.
You're doing great here so far. I've known you for 2.5 hours, and I'm very impressed. You're very strong. You're an assessor. You sit back and you watch. You do not pass judgment, but you collect, and you can tell you're doing the math. And I think if people don't sum up to what you expect in a short period of time, that you will absolutely protect him and cut them out as fast as lickety split if
all
needed.
All of that is true.
I know.
I agree with all of that.
You have no idea how good I am at what I do. I can assess people like that, but you're
But you said
sharp.
Who wears the pants, and I have a hard time going up to try to.
Pants doesn't mean dominant. Pants doesn't mean you make all the decision. Pat means that knowing you for a short period of time, if somebody came in here to hurt my family, you're not going to go hide in the bathroom. You're going to run at them. And I know that about you. I knew that about you in about 4 seconds.
And she's a good shot.
Yeah, I know, because you're a fighter. I can tell. And
I'm the oldest.
Yeah, but it's not that. It's not that. You can tell when an alpha recognizes that there's another strong personality in the room that may not be alpha, but has no problem flipping those gears and becoming the protector. I appreciate that. I appreciate people who are like that. I love how you put yourself in the door first. I just notice little things about people. So you've got my admiration, and I think it's just there should be a study on how you process this, because I think all the viewers are in the same spot. The strength that you have is incredible, and I think that's why it's been a year and he's still here, and I think that's why he's going to be here a year from now and a year after that, is because of your strength. I truly believe that.
He tells me that.
Yeah, well,
to us, we now. It was a large part of me wearing the pants before all this happened.
Yeah.
And now there's 2 pairs of pants to wear. One is how do we take care of Chuck, which is Kathleen's pair of pants, and she does it amazingly well. And I need that because I do not want to be the person reading my medical evaluations and records and recommendations and failures and things like that, because that's just too depressing for me. It's too close
it's
to.
It's like right here.
Yeah,
it's a spitting fucking image, man.
Yeah, and so what I do is, okay, babe, let's spend some money and go to the Mediterranean. Let's take my son. You've done so much for me, and you drive this old car around, which great car, but you know, I'm going to buy you a new car, and these are the ways that we make a family unit out of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how the vision is, and I love her for that, because I would get so depressed if this was just up to me without her. I wouldn't take my pills. I wouldn't go to my doctor's
of course not, dude. Yeah,
men.
Yeah. We're the dog that goes and walks into an acre into the field and just goes. When our time's our time, I mean, we're so fucking negative anyway on ourselves, and we're so incapable of dealing with our lack of emotions that ultimately we repress, that without a good woman, we're just... Olivia will tell you, I'm a giant baby. I am a giant fucking baby. I will just melt down. I'll go in a corner and suck my thumb and just cry because I'm so pissed at something that I can't control. And she's just like... And I'm like, why aren't you here picking me up? And she's like, because you're going to be fine in 5 minutes and I'm not going to get yelled at. And I'm just like, what? And she takes my mind, and just those little words, man. And I'm completely out of it. And I'm fighting again. And she's just sitting there counting 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, he's good. And she knows me. She knows how to piss me off enough to get me enough energy to keep fighting, and knows when to put her arms around me and says, hey, let go of the wheel for a little bit. I got you. Yeah. Without that, anybody who says that marriage is an institution of failure, these people just don't know what they're talking about. It's marriage is a beautiful thing if you understand one simple thing, that once you know somebody better than yourself, you're able to understand yourself. And it teaches you how to be vulnerable. It teaches you how to be authentic, and it teaches you how to be a real human being. And I'll tell you, without her, this wouldn't be here. Nothing would be here. I don't believe that I would probably be dead. I probably would have OD'd, and I probably just would have just been a statistic. Yeah. Liv, do you have any questions? I know callers, people want to call in. People want to say some things to you, but Liv, do you have anything real quick?
I actually have a question on the biker side.
Hit the like button, please. 58 likes. That's not enough for this. We have 200 some odd. Get the likes up. We need to have people here and see this. Go ahead.
So I know that a lot of biker gangs go to the veterans' funerals and stuff like that. Have you guys has your group done that before?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
We support a lot of the vet
Rolling
groups.
Thunder.
Yeah.
Vung Tau, which is a Vietnam group. Combat Vets, which is a Marines group. There's many. I couldn't even name them all. And you know, they come out wanting to ride Harleys too, and so a majority of them do.
Yeah.
And so let me real quickly, Beta California stands for American Brotherhood Aimed Towards Education. We are a motorcycle rights group. We are one of the only groups in California that have a lobbyist that goes up to Sacramento. Our goal is to promote bills that support motorcycling safety and access, and to fight bills that are against them. So largely we're a legislative group, which means that we're a numbers-based people. You're not going to win in Sacramento or any of your Capitol buildings unless you are actively engaged in the process. I've got Yenny, but
dude, like
she
now
loves
you guys,
his voice too.
Everyone goes, "Oh, geez, why do you push the cat down?" Now you know, because if you don't, she will rape you. Like, seriously, like we've got sexual assault cases open in this house because of this cat. So just push her down. Phone lines are open if you want to call 276-200-2105. The guy who wanted to call and talk about Iran, timing, bro, timing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call you back. But dude, seriously, that's not the time. I mean, seriously.
What was the biker show that we used to watch?
Sons of Anarchy.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
that's an exaggeration
like,
of everything.
I was gonna say, are there any biker
like,
gangs that are like that?
Top Gun.
the actors in that are really hardcore angels and Mongols and things of that nature. But no, it's not as flagrant. But I would overstep my bounds if I were to tell you anything that I shouldn't know.
All right,
there is a circle of secrets there.
Circle of trust.
Yeah.
We got a phone call coming in. Who are we talking to?
Hey, it's Drew. I just wanted to personally, Chuck, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, Drew.
This is about you, brother, and your life and your stories. I want to encourage you to pray for you.
Thank you.
When I found out I was going blind, I mean, I did every
right.
drug there was, all of them.
Yeah.
100%. I went full potato crazy. Hedonism, orgies, I mean, you name it. I hurt people. And I struggle with praying to God that somebody as shitty as me could ask for anything. I don't deserve it. But you do. And you should. And I want to thank you for just your courage and your strength and just being a mission. So thank you, brother.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you,
That's
Drew.
all.
I appreciate your words of advice, and I will do my best to improve that. I know that I have a circle of friends around me who also do the same thing for me, and they deserve prayers back. But I will take your words of advice, and
you're worth it.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Drew. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Drew.
God bless.
God bless, brother. Not bad for a Linux guy. So,
all right, I'm putting a couple donations.
We got to put some donations in. We have to because it's insane. Anonymous donated. Thank you. I know who you are. Welcome, Petersons. Thanks for all you gave the show. Hi, Matt and Olivia. Hello, Anonymous. We know who you are. Thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for that donation.
I guess the only thing that I kind of want to know is when you get to this point and you're like, okay, I fought the good fight and I'm continuing to fight. Is there a point where you worry? Yeah, this is a tough one. So I don't want to, I'm not trying to make you cry, but let me just put you in my position. If I was to be in the same position and I made a turn that I knew that the end was coming, I wouldn't want Olivia to see me in a certain way because I don't want her to remember me this way. Have you, Kathleen, I already know what you're thinking, but I get it. But you can both definitely answer this. But have you faced that hurdle? Have you thought about that and said, what's your answer to it, to yourself? Because as a man, that's what I'm thinking. How do I protect my wife from seeing me like that? And Kathleen, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And then if you've thought about that, Chuck, I'd like to know, because I don't want that day, but I'm saying if that day comes when you're there.
You want to go first?
Yeah. Have you faced that?
I feel like we pretty much have. I mean, not down to the, when I'm doing whatever I'm doing, not intimately, but I mean, I know I've gone through it in my mind, and honestly, what helps me a lot, if this would help anyone else, there are a couple of really good hospice nurses that run just good Facebook pages. I'm a big fan of Facebook, even though everybody else has moved on from Facebook. I'm a Facebook queen. I ran 2 abate pages and some for my businesses. And I mean, I'm. Want
to be a moderator?
And yes, I could do that for you. That's what I've done before.
I would like you to. We'll talk
anyway,
about this.
When you have a hospice nurse person, talk about, this is what it looks like, and let me show you a video that the family allowed me to take and see the stuff, some of the stuff that, Chuck was with his father when his father drew his last breath. It's frightening because when you don't know what to look for,
right? And
when they make the gurgly noises, or when they do this or when they do that, and you're not prepared. So I have a couple of hospice nurses that I follow that share what all that looks like. So that's helped me a lot. Also, in the spectrum of strength, I have a pretty good amount of strength. I've seen some stuff in my family with death or with serious injury or with serious surgeries or with down to my daughter shoving the window fell down on my daughter's fingers, and I'm like the one that just lifted up the window and took care. I'm really good under emergency, so I'm okay with it. I know Chuck has talked about it. We've thought about it. I mean, there's some stuff I've already done for him that was pretty, what's the word? He would have to be pretty vulnerable for me to take care of. So maybe we're farther down the road than what you're thinking. The other thing that's pretty important, we don't know if it's going to be in a month or 6 months or 6 years. I mean, probably not 6 years, but we're not close to feeling like it's going to be tomorrow.
No, that's not it. I'm just talking about, like, I don't want to see, if I know that it's to the point where, like, I know this is terminal. That's what you guys are saying. I'm hoping against hope. My point is that I don't want my wife to see me than any other way than when she loved me the most. And that's my own selfishness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just me being a selfish
and
dick.
Pride.
Oh, totally. That's, yeah. Which is the etymology of selfishness. I mean, it's all about pride.
Well, I'm
and
glad
I guess
you asked that question because I don't know if I've ever asked him that question in those words.
All right, Chuck. So tell us, damn it.
Well, I mean, like Kathleen said, 6 months, 6 years, who knows? The rate of decline is going to be part of that, and I'm very blessed in that my rate of decline. I do not get all the side effects. I've been immunocompromised for a year and a half, and I very seldom get sick.
That's a good sign.
Yeah,
that's a great sign.
And largely, I was expecting this to be a body side of cancer, but now that the growth of my body has slowed down, but the growth of my brain has exponentially progressed. Well,
we're going to get those radiated next week, and there's 4 of them, and they're teeny. One of them is bigger. The rest of them are small. We're going to get them on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and those will be gone.
Good.
Just so you know.
That's my angel there.
Power of positivity.
Yeah.
Well, and he's already had radiation in his head, and he accepts it well.
Yeah.
So
it shouldn't be there, and so it creates a whole new what if scenario for me as far as what I'm really dealing with, and I can deal with my body going, but if my body's there and my brain is gone, then I enjoy my brain. I enjoy good conversations.
Me too, dude.
You know?
Oh God.
And if I'm just jello in a bed, then
right.
I don't want that. And
yeah.
And this will be the hard part for her because we'll have to have that conversation about, and we already have, you know, what quality of life do I have left, and it's up to her to make that choice for me because I can't.
Yeah, that's that. Okay, that's. But
and I definitely rather him pass away at home.
Right. And I think there's a point where you get to that stage and you're like, listen, me being in the hospital isn't going to do anybody good. All we're doing is racking up debt.
Yep.
And I'm not comfortable.
Yep.
And there's no way. The fight's over. Now we just ride it down the hill. And that's it. It's downhill the rest of the way.
Pull the pills.
Yep. And you know what? That moment of clarity I've heard for most cancer survivors is that it's incredible. Like when you get that clarity and you get off the medication, there's a time where you just get this unbelievable amount of strength and stamina back before.
Yeah.
You know, and listen, I just don't have that gene of not being able to talk about anything. And I'm not fearful when I speak about things like this because I think it helps. And I think it's going to help me cope with these things. I don't like this. This shit sucks.
Let me tell you.
I was sitting down there and I was showing my son Rachmaninoff and Beethoven and Strauss and Amadeus and we're just listening to music in Tchaikovsky, and I'm just like remembering when my father, when I was 6, would play the record player, and he would play this music, and I didn't give a flying shit about it. I didn't care.
Yeah.
But I do now, and when I listen to it and hear it, I think of him. And as much of a sanctimonious asshole that he was, I still wish that I would have had that connective tissue so I could fall back on it, realizing my own mortality, because I didn't cope with it with him. So this, for me, is when I see father figures in my life and people who I really care about. My uncle was one of them. I love that man. He was more of a father to me in 3 years than my dad ever was. And your influence, and there's Mike across the street, who I got to figure out how to get you to meet Mike Morrell before you leave. But that influence, Chuck, is so extremely important, not just for your family, not just for your wife, and not just for, kids, but for the people in your outside of your network who find you to be an inspiration. So just know that I appreciate you very, very much, and thank you for coming on here and being vulnerable and talking this through, because I think it's therapeutic for everyone involved.
Well, I hope so. And that is the reason. Well, I got a book. A couple books have been waiting to get picked up.
No, yeah, I should have sent them to you. I'm too cheap.
No, we talked about that.
Damn
you said,
right.
No, you're going to come out here.
That's right. Well, see,
them.
I listen. I work my mojo a certain way. I've got send them to you, and then he's like, "Where is he?" Those are some expensive books.
Yeah,
it's good to have you out here, and I think it gives people. Listen, I think when you don't have goals anymore and you don't have anything to live for, well, it makes it really easy just to give up and quit. And I love the fact that you're still setting goals for yourself. I love that you're going to go to the Mediterranean. I think you're a little crazy to go to Turkey, but I'm kidding. I love that. And someone asked another question: is fasting an option? There's a lot of feedback right now. See?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of options and a whole lot of advice. People mean well, and there's a lot of good ideas, and there's a lot of BS ideas, and people mean really well. But each person has to do what they feel is right for them. Yep. And that's been a little bit funny for Chuck and I, not a lot, because I'm just respecting what I tend to be a little more Eastern medicine and, that whole holistic kind of thing. And he tends to be more Western medicine, and the drugs are good, and that's fine. And so I've had to sometimes kind of lean towards just respecting what he wants. But you know what he's doing what he wants, how he wants it. And he's still sitting here a year and a half later with metastasized stage 4 bladder cancer.
Yep.
So, okay.
We had that conversation before we started, and I said, hey, you need to tell me to go piss up a rope. Just tell me, right? I just have a question or two. And that's how you approach the conversation, right?
We were surprised. We didn't expect A, to tell the whole story today, and then B, for it to go this long. And then look at all these responses and people asking questions.
It's important.
We can see all the different from here.
It's important. And that's why we're doing it. Is, like I told you, the numbers are liars. I don't believe the numbers. I don't believe what our live numbers are, because the interaction, you can see it. It's everywhere. And this is a slow night, comparable to most traffic, because I think people are being introspective and they're collecting and they want to be respectful. I asked the question about pH balance, and because an acidic environment is very difficult for cancer to live in, but I went from the scientific method of just like asking questions. It's important for people, and remember, and it's got to be tough. It's how we process. It's how we cope, because the first thing we want to do is help, but when the real thing that we should probably do is listen.
Yeah, the first thing that I've learned in this process, and I love both UCLA and the Vanderbilt Hospital that I work with now in Clarksville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, is there's this thing called, I've named it institutionalized medicine. And it's real hard to get a doctor to break free of taught, trained papers, written papers, and break away from that and start talking about more homeopathic or hydroxychloroquine or this methylene blue or whatever the crap that my brother
ivermectin.
Yeah, ivermectin, that's the one. Yes.
You're gonna
and
piss and blood. You don't need it to be blue. It's like Bloods and Crips will have a battle in your
No,
urinary
methylene
tract.
blue is a good thing. So.
That was a joke. Just
yeah,
a joke.
I
Just
get
a
it.
joke.
I
It would
get
be purple.
It would be. It would be. It would be
either
Barney.
color.
He'd be pissing Barney.
I pee the colors of the rainbow as it is now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think there will come a time where I'm going to have to say, okay, thank you guys very much. I'm going to try to do this on my own, and really not my own. I don't want to do anything that damages or makes the regiments they're providing me less effective. But at some point, what the hell do I have to lose?
Yeah. Well, listen, you know what? I'm taking my own advice. Just, like I said, listening is an amazing thing.
Yep.
And it's easy to give advice because you want to be helpful. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you role reverse, the first thing we do is, how can I help? Yep. I don't say those words anymore. I just say, what do you need?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I need you to just shut the fuck up and listen to me. Okay, done, sold. I'm going to punch out and I'm just going to listen. And it's hard, but how do I help is honestly just your way for get someone to say no. But what do you need? That is a very different conversation. So, and I'm sure you would tell me, you needed fish and chips with malt vinegar, and Olivia let you down tonight.
Oh, no, it was the restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't do tartar sauce for those out there.
Yeah, Liv.
I like pineapple on my pizza, though.
Oh, he's in my corner.
Wake!
You are an idiot!
He's my favorite person.
Out the door I go.
Yeah, you were doing okay. By the way, those books, I forged the signatures. They're not real. All right. So, listen, I think we're going to get some donations put in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we've got some calls that I'm sure people want to call in. And then we did some videos tonight that we might want to just kind of touch base on. I just kind of wanted to say that I appreciate your openness, and I think this is important. The one thing I love about our show is that it's tight knit, and everybody has the opportunity to kind of come on and share. And if they want to tell a story, and a lot of people have. I mean, we've had a lot of people come on this show and say things from telephone and then also dial in. And I think it takes a lot of courage to get up here on a mic and do this in front of a lot of different people. So I want to commend you both. It's like you guys are good at this. So,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, it seemed pretty natural at it. It's not an easy thing to do.
No.
Not an easy thing to do.
It's not. It took me over a year to feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's awesome. Last thing I'd ask is, you're going to the Med.
Yep.
Have you ever had Greek food?
I've had Greek restaurants in Ventura, California, and the harbor.
Food.
If you probably remember that. There's a Greek restaurant there, the actual dance with tables in their mouths.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if that's Greek food.
I didn't know you were in. Are you in Ventura?
Yeah, Matt. Come on, dude.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
We used to be about half an hour from Ventura.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Now we're in Tennessee.
I know that, but where were you at in California?
At the time, I lived in Thousand Oaks, and then we moved Thousand Oaks.
What the
to Moore
fuck?
Park.
I'm the one that painted the Newberry Park
Yep,
basketball court.
I remember you saying that. Yeah. Yeah.
We were on Neath Street in Montgomery on Telegraph Road in Ventura.
And so,
we're so close to each other.
I
had a biker run over my cat once, and I'm wondering.
Keep your cat in the house.
Exactly.
We learned that lesson after you guys killed it. Seriously. That's awesome, though. It's amazing how small of a world it is. Like, there'll be people here, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Ventura. I'm from Ventura." I'm like, "What the?" It's small world.
And when we get back from the Mediterranean, it's important to know.
Yeah.
Chuck, we bought our new house in Tennessee, which is an old house.
Yeah.
And there's a wonderful, huge, big shop that's about as big as a 2-car garage. And he is outfitting it right now so that when we get back, he can build 2 motorcycles from the bolt up with his grandsons.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
That'll be great.
We have 3. One is an adult in his early 20s, and the other 2 are in their late, it's 15 and 17. 3 of my daughter's 6 kids, and they live 15 minutes away, and they can't wait to come back and build motorcycles with Chuck.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Have you guys been to Montana?
On the way to and from Sturgis.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, been to
Yeah,
Sturgis.
that'll do
Okay.
it. That'll do it.
But
Yeah.
I've been to Western Montana, Northwestern Montana.
Yeah.
Folks,
you
Melanie.
should go. You should go sometime. Go up to Glacier Park. Go
Yeah.
going Sun
Oh,
Road
gorgeous. Yes.
to the top of going
great-
going to the Sun Road and see if you can get within like 100 yards of a grizzly bear because that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like a blast.
No, it's awesome. It
Yeah.
really is.
No. Okay. Melanie Marino is on the phone. Melanie, what do you want to talk about, sister?
I want to tell Chuck that the doctors aren't, it's called a practice for a reason.
Yep.
I, at 12, was diagnosed with uterine cancer. Doctors transferred me to St. Jude, and they told me I would never have kids. They were going to have to do a total hysterectomy if the chemo and everything didn't work, because it was rare for girls my age to have that particular cancer.
Okay.
I survived it. I had 3 children. I am now 56. Now, I've had cancer twice since in the vaginal area and had to have the hysterectomy, but I was able to have 3 children.
Well, good for you.
And I am 56. And they said that, my lifespan, I mean, they had my mom and them so worked up. It was incredibly crazy. And I am so glad to hear how positive y'all are and how you are living life to the fullest at this point and how healthy you seem.
Yeah.
It really is that mindset also helps you.
Oh, sure. Power
Well,
positive.
It really does.
Yeah.
If there's a way out of this room, this will be the woman here who finds it for me. In the meantime,
Absolutely.
I'm going to spend money and build motorcycles and make memories.
You just go to this door and take a right, dude. It's right there.
Hey, nothing against.
Is Alzheimer's
we are a
part of
rodeo
this?
and dirt biking family, so I know the bike rides.
Yeah.
But I just want you to continue to stay positive. I will keep y'all in my prayers, and
Thank you for that.
thank you for sharing your story with
All right.
us.
Love you, Mel.
I mean,
Thanks.
it hits me, but I love y'all.
We love you, Mel.
Thanks, Mel. Thanks for the feet pics, Mel.
Yes. Always a big fan.
She sent me feet
Bye,
pics from a
y'all.
cruise.
Love you, Mel. Listen, we've got some of the coolest. Can I just tell you this, and I just kind of say, we've went through some metamorphosis and some changes when it comes to our viewership over the years. And sometimes our viewers have been extremely bullish, and sometimes our viewers are extremely passive, and some of them are really giving, and some of them are they like to take. I don't think I've ever seen a viewership out of the 5 years I've been doing this. It's better than the one we have right now. It's the longest. It's the most tenured. It's the most compassionate giving. These people are intelligent. They challenge each other. They challenge me, for God's sakes. And this, hands down, is my favorite audience that we've had, and I hope it continues. And we've had to trim some things and get some people out who are pretty toxic, but it's
probably why it's where it's at.
Well, it's really exciting to see where the show is at and the viewership we have. I'm very, except for that fucking guy who called. I want to talk about Iran. Seriously, dude. I mean, really? Timing, bro.
Timing.
We're gonna talk to him about that. We do this thing. Last word. Kathleen, you started. I'm going to give it to Chuck, and then I'm going to hand it over to Kathleen. We're not going, but I just want to kind of transition into getting your opinions on some of the show, because I want to let this marinate. I want to let people to process it, and then we might circle back at the end of the show. But Chuck, you get your minute or two, whatever you want. Don't take 23, and go for it.
I really don't know what else I can contribute to my story. Thank you all for listening. I did see some of the comments go through, and I just wanted to real quickly say, don't go to Pompeii if you are fighting cancer and you have neuropathy in your feet. It is the most unpaved, unlevel. I might have been hiking the Rockies to be in Pompeii, and it was also the hottest time of year. We went there to see Andre Bocelli on his farm, so we were kind of stuck with the schedule. But yeah, went there. No.
Been there, done that.
Volcanic.
I've always wanted to go to Pompeii.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for your thoughts and prayers. And please donate tonight. Thank you.
Go walk
Share the
over to
gift.
our barbecue and lift it up and grab some of the rock, and you've got Pompeii. It's pretty much Pompeii.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
You think I'm kidding?
No, I'm not. I've studied Pompeii.
Yeah,
I know that.
It's not just. It's yeah. You know where. Here's what we need to do. We're gonna have a conversation, but we're coming down to Nashville when you guys get back sometime, and
Okay.
we're gonna go
That'd be
watch.
fun.
We're gonna watch Navs and Predators game. We'll see if they're playing anytime before the season's over. Hopefully you guys are back, and then we can go before the playoffs. If not, we'll catch it next year or whatever. But you'll be here. But we're gonna come down to Nashville, and whether we're invited or not, and do return the favor for sure.
Fair enough.
Kathleen.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything more to add either. I am really pleasantly surprised at how we dominated the show way more than Chuck's story, my story, our story, much more than I expected. I wasn't even sure we were going to be on the show when we traveled here. So it was a little bit ad lib, and Chuck and I don't have a problem speaking because we've done that plenty of times in our life. But I'm really pleased, and we can see all the comments and we can see everything going on from this side of the table, which it's been fun to come here and see all of this. It's really been it. That's why I'm kind of describing it to you guys so you can see what it's like. Thanks for caring. Thanks for prayers. I really hope that by Chuck being so intimate and vulnerable, which is hard for him, not so hard for me. I'll tell you whatever you want to know, but that it touched hearts, and maybe it'll help some other people going through the same thing. Pray for each other, pray for yourselves, and give Matt some more money.
Oh, jeez Louise. That's that, a girl. Oh, we appreciate that.
All right, speaking of, I'll put in some donations.
Look at my shirt. Come on.
Mel, Chuck, can you promo a dumb concert? We're working on it, okay? We got a lot in the works right now. We're trying really hard. We want to get that concert going. Guys, it's a lot to put on a concert. It takes a lot of overhead to do it. We're trying. We're looking at it. But if we put it on, we have to put it on for the full. We have to basically put it on for the full county. We can't.
It's not just a private
it's
event.
It's not a private. We got to put it on for the full county, and that means we got to have at least 250 people there, and that's a lot. And then I got to pay for licensing, liquor license. It's not easy. It's really a pain in the frickin' ass. So I'm working on it. We might just have to do something small, maybe a Holiday Inn with a nice pool, or something. We'll figure it out. But hang tight. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it going on. Go ahead, Liv. Just punch these things in. We have a shite ton of donations to put in. Let's see. That is JD Stillwell donated. Chuck, do me a favor and carve my initials into something. You know what? I was thinking maybe they could. I was thinking like something to sign. I was going to get something made to put like everyone who comes in and signs. What about just signing the door?
Oh,
with silver marker on a back door.
Oh,
They just
cool.
write a little something, and every time
absolutely.
somebody comes in here, they
That'd be cool.
sign it. Okay, we'll do that. Don't let me forget, Liv, because you know I'm going to forget. So we'll do that.
You're really telling me to tell you not to forget.
Ethan.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not the best person to say that to.
So let's get a couple of these popped in real fast. Just keep staggering them, so we can get them in. Hey, do me a favor. Make sure we have our silver marker. It might be in here. Kimberly Jurgemeyer donated for $40. So glad Chuck and lovely wife made it safe and to be in the studio live. Happy Friday, y'all. Thank you, Kim. Just see if you can find that silver marker, buddy.
It's in there somewhere.
Don't let us
Top
forget
shelf.
to sign the door. So that's what we're going to do. Every time somebody comes in, we'll sign the
We'll
door.
have to have Pastor Jack come back and.
Yes. Angela Hills, $31.50. T.S. Dixon will have to come and do it. Retired this week after 31.5 years. Seems appropriate to donate the same amount. Love my dumb family. Thank you, Angela. Turn on the lights. Fine. We're going to get all these donations put in, and then we got to do the rest of the show. $20. Brenda Shepard. My heart is so happy that knowing Matt is so handsome. Oh, Brenda, stop. Knowing you all are saved and will be going to God's kingdom, sending lots of loves and prayer to Chuck and Kate.
What's up, kiddo?
That is beautiful. Thank you. Hey, you hold this. Don't let me forget to have them sign the door.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Okay, so we're getting more?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, keep going.
That was just Venmo.
Holy Lord. What a night. You getting those in there, Liv?
Yes, I am.
You're doing great. Sandra Edwards, plural. That's fine.
Yep.
I feel you, Chuck. I may try to call in sometime, share my view. Currently going through a Similar circumstance regarding bladder. Only you can make me feel this
Hang in
way.
there, buddy. Thank you
Currently
for
going
sharing.
through similar circumstance regarding bladder. Only hang in there. Sandra, we love you and wish you the very, very best. Holy God, Mel.
Apparently she had some leftover money from a cruise.
Yeah. Did you like strike the lotto or something there, Melphis? Melanie Lowe, God bless you. Chuck and Kathleen got Chuck's donation covered in our prayers.
Hang on.
What's wrong?
It's not loading.
All right, so this is a good time to shift gears. Why don't you get that one in there?
Is Frank donating today without a decimal point?
Put that extra zero in
Yeah,
there.
I was going to say that. Hey, Frank, the record is $3,400, so let's see what you can do.
Come on, Frank. We know you can do it.
Let's make it happen. This is cool. This is fine. We can take a couple minutes and get caught up on donations. I don't mind doing this.
Work. Just decided to freeze on me.
Yeah, it happens. Streamlabs is yeah. Okay, so gonna get this put in. That donation from Mel was.
There we go.
Okay, getting it put in. It's coming in right now. We're just gonna take probably 2 more minutes to get all these in. What part of North Carolina do y'all live in? They live in Tennessee, not North Carolina. Yeah. Why is it?
Sometimes it does that, and I have to retype it.
That's weird.
Yeah, it does it. I don't know why.
Is there are there any amperstamps or
nope? It's the first thing I look for. And if
God bless you,
it,
Chuck and Kathleen. Got Chuck's donation covered in our prayers. $309.43. Holy God, Mel!
Oh, wow,
Thank
that
you,
puts
Mel.
us at $567.03, which covers dinner. So that's good.
Mel.
We love you.
Love
we
you. Love you.
appreciate
Thank
you.
Bless you.
Bless you. And you okay?
Yeah.
Judy Gurley, just a little help, $21.10. It absolutely is perfect. Just a little help from our friends. Isaac Castillo in it with $25. Says, stay strong, brother. That is from Isaac Castillo at $25. I think that's caught up. Yeah.
I think that's caught up.
All right. So this is what we do here on the Don't Unfriend Me show. We watch videos and look at things. Once again, thank you, Isaac. 6/13/13 is where we're at. Friday the 13th. I don't know if we want to end on a 13. So if someone has a penny.
I didn't even. 8/13/13. How about a buck and a penny?
Yeah, 666 is also not good. So like maybe some sevens or 34. Okay, 27 is a good number. So Candace Owens, we've had a chance to talk about Candace. Kathleen, did you listen to Candace Owens before she decided to go completely batshit crazy?
I used to like her.
Yeah. What about you, Chucky?
I liked her for a little bit, but like I mentioned the other day, she became irrelevant, and now in order to keep her likes up and the activity on her site, she's absolutely a wicked person.
Demon.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's Candace. This is an interesting one. Just take a listen. Tell me what you think. Oh no, it's gonna do this to me. Hold on. I had no problems with this earlier. I wonder why it's doing this. Replace assist.
Chocolate.
This is no, it's not you. It's Liv, see if you can see this. Looking for Candace Owens. Where is it?
The grift is.
Wait.
Where?
Left, bottom, down, left. Right there? Is that done?
She thanks her.
Yep.
I'm just that good.
She thanks her in this article. The quote reads, "We have formed a partnership with the Antonio Placement Center in Constanta. And as we promised, we are doing everything possible to take this friendship further for the benefit of Romanian children. We fell in love with these children and with the idea of repeated help over time. So we included this action in our list of international initiatives. I am happy to collaborate with United Hands Romania Association and Renee Crossman, the president of this organization, but also with the representatives of the Antonio Placement Center." Okay. She says, "Truly thank you to the many Romanians who sent," sorry, that's me. So like I said, you guys, thank you very much for sending me all of those articles. And it allowed me to She thanks her.
So obviously on a teleprompter. Now, she's getting a ration of shit for this. Now, a lot of people hit Candace Owens because she can't pronunciate even the most basic of words. Monosyllabic vocabulary, struggles with Candace. And I've heard her try to pronounce words, and it's just it's a modern day Ebonics. It's pretty bad. But I'm not going to fault her for this. Now, these two will tell you they're right here. I don't use teleprompters. I don't read off cue cards. The stuff I have is coming from here. Occasionally, I might do a quick little research spot on something to refresh the memory. But when I record my videos, I'm on prompter, and then sometimes I'm not. And I don't think there's any problem as long as somebody isn't trying to pawn it off. So I don't defend Candace Owens very often, but I think this is kind of a nothing burger. Do you guys have problems? I mean, that influencers use teleprompters? Do you think it's somehow, disingenuous for them to do that? Do you guys even care?
No, I don't think it's disingenuous. I mean, if she's got to read a quote, how's she going to remember that?
Well, the ending was kind of funny. Yeah. She's like, thank you for all that. That was her line she was supposed to read. Yeah. So she pulled the Joe Biden, where she started reading. Kathleen, how about you? Do you think it's a big deal that she's on a teleprompter?
I do not.
Okay, that's easy. See, simple. Chuck, what about you? You're not going to be the odd man out, are you?
No.
I take so much offense to this, Chuck says. This is, yeah.
I think if you speak from the heart, you don't need one. However, if I'm giving a speech to a bunch of people in a room about an engineering problem that we're having and how to do it, I've got slides and prompts and everything else involved in how to do that. I just don't believe Gavin Newsom has to underline words to read them.
Right. Listen, here's where I'm kind of a similar heart when it comes to Candace Owens. It's really hard to hate Charlie Kirk's wife because Charlie chose her instead of you, and it's really It's really hard to hate on all those Jews without cue cards. So I got to give her some props that sometimes she may need to read it off, and that's fine with me. Mom Donnie expands taxes in New York, and
go figure,
and punishes billionaires for leaving. Liv, call this one out. It's all you.
Gosh, Debbie Boggs, you got this, Chuck. I know you'll keep fighting. Love the strength God has given you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Here is Mom Donnie and his comments about people leaving New York because the taxes are too high.
Amidst being in the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, we already see an exodus of working and middle-class New Yorkers. So I don't have a hesitation in asking those.
Is it just me, or does he look more Muslim than he did when he ran?
I was actually just going to say he's working on his inner Muslim right now because of that whole mustache thing.
The only thing that could make this look better is a hijab, is a kafaya and a vest. I mean, seriously. I mean, I've seen guys straight out of the soup in Afghanistan look a lot less Arabic than him. This is going to be bad. He's going to be wearing a robe soon.
Who make the most amount of money in the city or the most profits in the city to pay a little bit more so that everyone can actually stay in this city. It's also something not just about justice or the ability for working class people to live here. It is also actually about ensuring that corporations can continue to attract the top talent to this city. Because in a city where childcare costs more than $20,000 a year, I've heard from corporate leaders about how difficult it is for them to attract individuals who would work at their companies but want to raise a family, because you could be making $300,000 a year and you will feel that $20,000 a year because of the fact that we have allowed for the absence of affordable childcare to become reality here in this city.
$20,000 a year, Liv. That sounds a little inexpensive for New York City, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure does.
I gotta fix this window. Sorry. So
yes,
I think it's more expensive for childcare here
in Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia's expensive too. What do you guys? Your thoughts on Mom Donnie in New York? I mean, I know you guys were in California, then you left California, thank God, and went to Tennessee. How do you feel this is going to rebound on him when businesses are fleeing because of regulation and taxes? And now he's like, well, I'm just going to raise taxes on these businesses so they don't leave.
How is that going to work?
I don't know.
Yeah, it won't work. I mean, not in any capitalist type of environment, it won't work. But, I believe there's people out there who see that Mondami in New York as being an opportunity, and they will do anything and everything to make it be exactly what they want it to be. Whether that's communist, Marxist, socialist, whatever environment, they don't really care about the rich people. that it's all speak that people who aren't rich want to hear. They're speaking down to the class of people who aren't rich. You can't make people stay in New York, just like it's not working in California.
No, they try. You can't tax people into prosperity. Last time I checked.
So it's not a failure. There is a game plan, and they're going to do everything they can to save this. What the end goal is, it scares the crap out of me.
It is. Kathleen, you saw this in California. It's probably one of the reasons why you guys left. It's now in New York. It's now in Virginia. You are literally sitting in the next Democratic California stronghold on the East Coast. Virginia's toast. We're done. We're like as soon as the kids graduate, we're out. We don't have a choice because we know what's going to happen.
We didn't want to be.
No, we loved it here.
If our kids were in elementary school, we'd be gone. But the high school and middle school, we can't move. We can't do that to them. I won't. So.
Is there any place on planet or in the United States that's not completely ruined by leftists anymore? Because we are the farthest from it. And, they want guns. They want taxes increased. They want to, do all the things, the DEI, they want to bring it back into the schools and the transgenders bathrooms and all this shit. And it's just, I don't know what to do. Kathleen, your thoughts on this? You saw it in Cali. You were born and raised. Is this just where we're all going to end up sooner rather than later?
I believe California maybe it's wishful thinking, but there's a pretty good movement in California to flip it around. I'm appalled that people would vote for Donnie when he says what he says. It's hard for me to even imagine that. So we still have a decent amount of conservative people in Tennessee. There's still a lot of good old boys there, and so we're enjoying that as long as we can.
Yeah.
I think if the SAVE Act passes, that Republicans get off their schneid and actually fix the lines in the states,
right?
And Republicans get out and vote, especially for the half years.
So
not just the major elections.
You're saying there's no chance.
Well, if that's what we can do, then I think we might have a chance. But with the leftist cheating more and more, and they seem to be pushing it more and more and more and talking about it openly now. They're not just
they're just brazenly.
They're just like
they don't care.
They don't care anymore, and it's because they don't think people are going to do anything about it. And you know what? They might be right, but we have to have some young Republicans out there who are willing to stand up for.
Well, it's amazing that we don't get unified until they start polling this shit. And by then it's too late.
It's too late. We got to do something to prevent it. We can't just react. We actually have to prevent.
Proactive versus reactive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm encouraged that Thune is now speaking of, bringing the SAVE Act to the floor and having discussion on it. I thought he was going to be the one big holdout to prevent it from happening. But you know what?
Got to nuke the filibuster, brother.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
But something's got to happen because I was in California and I watched the compassion. Well, illegals have to drive to go to work, so we got to give them a driver's license. So, and that seemed benign enough. Okay, everybody said, well, they need them. They're part of the economy and they pay taxes. Blah 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 blah. And then it wasn't 2 years later. Now everybody is automatically registered to vote. Right? And so there is the pathway to voting. And they're going to tell you, well, they can't vote in federal elections. Well, you know what? They don't get a special ballot that has the federal elections votes lined out or deleted. They get the same ballot that we all get.
Shit, they get in the census. That's enough.
Exactly. And then there was a recall on coming with Gavin Newsom. It's been about 4 or 5 years ago. One of the two, I think, it was the first of the two. And is it 4? Okay. 3. Okay.
3 years ago, and then he had one before that 5.5 years ago.
Well, and that's the one where he raised gas prices while there was voting to recall him, and it was a 50 cent a gallon tax increase or something like that. And that's when I realized this guy is not fearful of losing his job.
No, why should he be?
Because the elections are in the can for him.
Yeah, California literally went to a Republican state in 84 and 88 and then completely switched, and we know why. Because if you look, and Ronald Reagan's to blame for this too. It's just the way it is. And Reagan was not pro immigration and wall. He allowed a lot of illegals in, and he was a believer, and that's fine. And they were voting Republican. And then they stopped, and nobody stopped it from happening. And then all these Democrats who hated Reagan's policies through the 90s were like, put up a wall, you put those little shits in cages. They didn't care until 2000 plus, and they started voting for Democrats. And Democrats like, please, let's let them in. Let's be compassionate. Let's be loving. And you're like, Hillary Clinton, what the fuck are you talking about? You were like, literally like, let's just shoot them. It's just so much easier. Super chat. World Radio. Sorry. Ironic that Mondani is speaking on attracting talent, then immediately enacts policy which stymies companies that would attract talent to grow their company. What is this? What is his level of self-awareness? This is the Saul Alinsky playbook. This is gaslighting 101. This is what you do. You literally you push the businesses out, and then you raise it on the middle taxes. Then you have them become beholden to the government. Then you have the lower class and the middle class, and it doesn't matter anymore. Because once you have the middle, you have the election. That's what they've done in every single inner city across America. It's not just all low-income families in these cities, folks. That's not the way it works. They drive the rich out, leaving the middle and the low class there. Jobs lose. They become dependent upon the government, and they vote Democrat for fucking 75 years. It's a rinse and repeat recipe. It's been happening for 75 years. It's the modern-day slave plantations. And it's not just black people anymore.
You know what? I'm hoping the last 10 years has been elections on emotions. And that's what it's been. And people are so emotional about it. But Trump's not on the ballot now. I'm really hoping in 2028, common sense starts to come back, because these people are actually going to have to go, I'm not voting against Trump. Because a lot of those people were like, I'm just not voting for Trump or anyone in his party. But Trump's not on the ballot. So I have a hope, very slim, very, very slim, that hopefully people will realize they actually need to do their homework. They need to research who they're voting for. Because some of these people, only excuse and their only reason to vote was so Trump didn't get into office.
Yeah, or they like the color of his tie, or that he plays saxophone.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm really hoping. Yeah. I mean, I know this year isn't going to come to play because Trump is still president, but in 2028, Trump is going to be nowhere on the ballot. I'm hoping that things will change.
Nothing's going to change. Yeah, Nothing's going to change.
I'm with Matt on that one.
Yeah. Nothing will change. They've got the recipe now. It's grandstanding. It's political divide.
Exactly.
We are now the English. We're English without parliament, folks. I'm just letting you know.
J.D. Vance, Rubio, whoever, they'll be Trump 2.0, or, they'll be taxed with. The Democrats do nothing but just slander him because they're too close to Trump. And Trump, the reason why they hate Trump is because he's not a politician.
And
he came in and broke all the rules and stepped on all. He was the bull in the china shop, and he's got things done. And they don't want to see they don't want anybody watching this, so they're just going to condemn it.
I just want to challenge this a little bit, folks. Donald Trump is the most moderate president we've had in 50 years. Hillary Clinton just came out and said that Donald Trump of 2016 is not the Donald Trump of 2024. He has grown up and learned.
Yep.
Her words, unfucking quote. How moderate can you be when you got a neocon progressive like her going, you know what? Maybe Donald Trump isn't so bad. Maybe it's because he said some positive shit to get the media off his back when it came to Epstein. I don't know. But the point is that Trump is fairly moderate. I mean, even what's happening, look what happened in Venezuela.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, that's a moderate move. He didn't put troops in there. He could have, if he was a Republican, they would have put 20,000 troops on the ground and held the embassy and taken the Capitol. They didn't do that. And they didn't do what Democrats did, but just bomb them into eternity. He went in and got out. He's going to do the same thing with Iran. Now, I don't think it's going to be as fast as Venezuela, but we're going to watch a video that's going to help us all understand what's going to happen. I want to address something that happened last night. The Jewish space lasers are back, folks. I've been waiting. Lahaina fire was the last time I heard about them, and people are saying, Matt, what are those blue things in the sky? Well, they were the same things that I showed you with tornadoes, hurricanes, and fires. Let's watch the video, and then I'll explain what it is. People are saying that is a space laser. And
it's like lightning to me.
Nope, not that. It's not lightning. It's not a Jewish space laser. I promise you, it's nothing that sexy. First of all, we need to watch where the light comes from. Do you see this? It goes up into the cloud first.
Yeah.
And it gets intensified. That's not the way lasers work. Lasers from space don't come from the ground, folks. They go through the cloud and then hit the ground in terra firma. That's not what took place here. What that is a transformer blowing from a bomb. And transformers are creating these giant spark igniters, and they create this very amazing bluish white glow. And when you have a low pressure system in a high desert, it pushes the clouds to a couple 100 feet off the ground, and that works like a movie screen essentially. So when these blue sparks fire from that transformer, it lights up everything because it is super duper bright. It's not a Jewish space laser. It's a transformer blowing. And you will see this throughout this when they hit resi areas or hit industrial areas that have very large power structures. You'll see these things explode. Anybody want to challenge that?
No.
Nope, that's right.
Okay, great.
I'm the engineer.
He's the engineer. So here's something. This is really important. Adrienne Jeanette. Is it Adriana? Adrienne.
It's Adrienne.
Adrienne and Jeanette, 2110. It's a true gift to learn from your knowledge and straightforward care for life of this side and on the other side of freedom when we go home. Wow, that was beautiful.
Well,
that was poetic. Beautiful. What a
Yeah.
wonderful thing to say. I don't think you said enough about me, but I appreciate that you said some stuff about Chuck. So, I'm just kidding. It's beautiful, beautifully done. This is really important. So I want to talk about asymmetric warfare. Does anybody know what asymmetric warfare is on the panel here?
Yes.
Okay. Chuck, can you give us the basics of asymmetric warfare?
Asymmetric means it's not normal. It's not of the normal routine or process you would expect.
Correct. So another example of that would be to use the strengths, and instead of addressing somebody's strengths, focus on their weaknesses instead and exploit their weaknesses. And usually it's unconventional. That's asymmetric warfare. And the best way to describe this is cave fighting that the Afghanis did against Russia, the Ho Chi Minh using tunnels. It changed the formula of the war. North Korea understanding that tanks and mechanized divisions would not do well in Korea since it's so hilly, so mountainy, and so cold. The asymmetric warfare, please, if you have to, go ahead. Asymmetric warfare is really important. Now, I've got a video that I showed you guys last night, and this is really going to sum up everything I said about Iran and where they're at right now. And I talked about the Iran and the Iraq war. When Iran fought with Iraq, they lost hundreds of thousands of troops. And they realized that a larger, more powerful military like the United States, like Russia, like China, and at that point, even England, that Iran would lose horribly because they understood that they could not afford the tanks. They couldn't afford the ships. They couldn't afford the high altitude bombers and the stealth fighters. So they had to come up with different means of defending themselves, and they became an asymmetric entity that had already fought Saudi Arabia, already fought Iran, and really or Iraq, and got their asses kicked. So they started investing in, instead of planes and instead of vessels, they started using defense systems. They started buying integrated air defense systems from Russia and China, who no longer needed them because they had superior air fighter and air powers. And they use these SA missile systems to go ahead and create an amazing IADS network. They bought missile systems, they bought mines, they bought a lot of older hardware, but they put them in dense locations that made it very difficult for any type of normal warfare to take place. So for very low cost and very low prices, they've created these amazing defensive systems that doesn't ever allow them to beat the United States, but it allows them to have the United States have to focus on extremely high costs of spending to defeat these systems, and then have the political push from the rest of the world and the American people to tell the United States to stop because they don't have the heart to stay in the fight. This video walks you through it. We talked about it last night. It should open up some good conversation for us. So give this a watch. If you haven't seen it, you really need to watch this because it's extremely well done. Plus, he agrees with everything that I said, which is also good.
40 years ago, Iran realized something terrifying. It realized that it could never defeat America in a traditional war. So instead, it prepared for a totally different kind of war. To understand this strategy, we have to go back to the 1980s. At that time, Iran was fighting one of the longest and deadliest wars in modern Middle Eastern history, the Iran-Iraq War. For 8 brutal years, from 1980 to 1988, Iran and Iraq fought a conflict that killed hundreds of thousands of people and devastated both countries. During this war, Iran learned a painful lesson that modern warfare had changed. Countries with advanced technology, powerful air forces, and strong allies had a massive advantage. Iran realized that if it ever faced a superpower like the United States, fighting a traditional war with tanks, jets, and large armies would be extremely difficult. So Iranian military planners began thinking differently. Instead of preparing to defeat stronger enemies in a direct battle, they started designing a strategy that could make any war extremely costly for the opponent. This is known as asymmetric warfare. In simple terms, asymmetric warfare means fighting a stronger enemy by avoiding its strengths and attacking its weaknesses. Rather than competing with American aircraft carriers and stealth bombers, Iran focused on cheaper, flexible weapons and tactics that are harder to stop. One major part of this strategy is its investment in missiles and drones. Instead of spending enormous amounts of money on modern fighter jets, Iran developed a large arsenal of ballistic missiles and long-range drones capable of striking targets across the region. And in recent years, these drones have become one of Iran's most important strategic tools. These low-cost attack drones can travel long distances and overwhelm air defense systems when launched in large numbers. Recently, Iran used waves of these drones to target military bases and infrastructure across several Gulf countries, including the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. The cost of engaging these drones far exceeded the cost of the drone itself. So this way, Iran is mathematically...
Right, do you notice how the English fucker said Bahrain? She won't let me say it right. I gotta say Bahrain like some redneck.
Bleeding these rich Gulf countries. Now, another key pillar of this same strategy is Iran's network of allies across the Middle East. Over the past few decades, Iran...
Now, this is probably the single most important part of this whole presentation, is the expansion of power regionally by using proxy terrorist groups. And this is where JIP comes in, the Muslim Brotherhood, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, ISIS-K, Al-Qaeda. These groups essentially extend the arm of Iran with no necessarily command and control or structure that impacts Iran's base. It's genius. It's absolutely genius. It would be like putting a bunch of troops in New Jersey and hitting New York when you're in Hawaii or Alaska. Now, I understand that doesn't work because we're all 50 states, but my point is geographically, it allows detached regions that are difficult by terrain, which Iraq has a mountainous region that's very difficult for Iran, where they couldn't push them back because they got up to a wall, made them very, very tough to fight against, and they went into those caves and caverns and did a reverse Afghanistan. But these proxy groups have created a very large Iran, which is already 1/3 the size of the United States, and turned it to be 2/3 the United States with the areas that they've taken from their proxies. It's a massive reason why they're so difficult to kill.
Has built relationships with armed groups in several countries, including Lebanon, Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. These groups act as Iran proxies and gives it influence far beyond its own borders. And as a result of this strategy, in this ongoing Iran-Israel war, the pressure is appearing in many places at once. Instead of one battlefield, there are several. Similarly, geography also plays a crucial role in Iran's strategy. Iran sits next to one of the most important waterways in the world, the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow passage connects the Persian Gulf to the global ocean, and around 20% the world's oil passes through it every day. Iran has recently blocked this strait, and energy markets are already beginning to witness the impact of blocking this choke point. Then Iran's naval strategy also reflects its asymmetric approach. Instead of building a navy similar to the United States, Iran relies on smaller, faster boats equipped with missiles and torpedoes. In large numbers, these boats can move quickly and create difficult situations for larger ships operating in the confined waters of the Persian Gulf. Finally, Iran's military structure is designed to keep functioning even under heavy pressure. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and its affiliated forces are organized in ways that allow different units to operate independently if needed. This decentralization means that even if some leaders or bases are targeted, the broader network can continue functioning. And this is exactly what is happening currently. The termination of Ayatollah Khamenei and other top leadership had little impact on Iran's retaliation activities. When all these elements come together, a clear strategy appears. Iran's goal is not to defeat the United States in a traditional military sense. Instead, its strategy focuses on making this war so complex, so costly, and so unpredictable that continuing the conflict becomes politically and economically difficult. In other words, Iran's strategy is not to defeat the United States. It is to make this war so expensive that the United States eventually loses it politically.
One of the best videos that I've seen to describe what's taking place here. And I'm hearing some questions, Matt. I've heard that we're burning through the bulk of our weapon stores. No, not even close. I'm not going to get into to the overall size of the amount of weapons and ammunition that we have. The only thing that we were struggling with were rockets, specifically for the Patriot 2 and some of our Hellfires, but those have been ramped up and defense contractors have expanded. Thoughts on this, and wanted to kind of, Chuck, get your thoughts on it, Olivia. Does this help understand why Iran, I told you guys, was our number one enemy in the world, was Iran was because they would be so difficult to kill, because the only way to really kill Iran is to nuke it.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we've seen this.
A little closer to the mic, Bubba.
I'm sorry. We've seen this game plan from Iran forever, you know. Their proxies are always the ones, you know, when there's ever a ceasefire that's supposed to be negotiated, it's the proxies that Iran goes, well, I'm sorry, but we don't really have command control of them. So if they fired off a bomb, it's sorry, it's not our bad, it's there, which is just total BS from my point of view. Yeah. And yes, I think a large part of the drop off in the number of and frequency of bombs that they have been doing is because they know that as soon as they roll one out in the launch pad, it gets annihilated. So
That's right.
They slowly, just enough to just be a nuisance. I think the United States probably did overestimate their ability to make. I mean, let's face it, they're blowing Iran up. The last 2 days have been the highest successive strikes they've had.
15,000 strikes so far.
Yeah, but what's the net result of that? I mean, when are they still saying it's a 4 to 6 week engagement?
Well, here's the thing: I made this point to you. You can take out Iran's command and control. You can take out their bases. You can take out their kinetic weapon systems when it comes to larger size bombers, fighters, naval vessels, tanks, all of those things, which we have just obliterated. Launch pads have been annihilated. Unfortunately, their coastal batteries they're keeping hidden, and that's where we've been hitting the most, is the coast to damage these things, because we know they can take out ships. But the problem is we are hitting their manufacturing plants now. So we're hitting their tunnels. We're just annihilating their tunnels. In fact, I've got some video to show you, but it's just we're just dropping in Hellfires at the base, and we're igniting their own missiles, and they are cooking off in these tunnels, and you're just seeing missile systems blow up. So they're going to run out of ammo. So yes, they have independent orders to create havoc and to create asymmetric warfare. But when you don't have any drones to do that, and you don't have any Hellfires, then you basically are using a Kalashnikov rifle and a vest. And that's the type of battle that the Jews can take care of, which is going to be individual groups who are going to come in and try to do open rebellion. But they're not going to be able to continue to do this, which is why we have seen, 275 attacks today to 4 on some of these drone attacks and rocket attacks, because they're just not effective to get through anymore, because they can't bombard us like they used to. And they're using to have these really soft targets, which is unfortunate, because they're hitting tankers, they're hitting oils, they're hitting hotels, and you can't protect the entire Middle East. But they can't do this forever.
Well, no. I mean, can they outlast any effort for a regime change?
There's not going to be regime change in Iran, and that's the one thing I've said from the beginning.
Yeah,
it's going to require civil war, and the nine districts of provinces of Iran to be overthrown.
Okay. But that's really what's going to take to make any dramatic change, an effective, long-lasting change in Iran, to where they become a more industrialized society and the freedom and the democracy that we would love to see them have. I think if there's any Islamic nature still there, it's going to redevelop.
Well, you what you need to do is kill 90,000 IRGC members.
Well,
and is that possible?
Yes. Very simple. Yeah. What you do is you have rebellion in the southern and the north, and then Tehran will push out, and then we'll bring the IRGC guards back from Syria to fight and to quash rebellion. And when you do that, that's when you introduce the Moab, and you start taking out battalions of IRGC.
So I have a question though. How are we going to get the Iranian people to revolt again? Because when they revolted 2 months ago, 35,000 of them got killed. And now
they're unarmed.
Let me show you. This is a great question. Do you want me? You anything else you have on that?
Well, I was going to say with that, I mean, Iran is lying to them right now and saying that they're winning the war, and they're also openly saying anyone who revolts or goes out in the street says is going to die.
You're
they're
right.
threatening these people. How are they going to do this?
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm going to give you 12 days ago, and then I'm going to give you posthumous from that 12 days.
Okay.
Posthumous. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, I'm a bomber, and I'm with the United States of America. And I don't know
realize they sound Asian.
They are, because they're SA systems that are based out of China, and they're upgraded with China's weaponry. So that's why this one. And then this other guy is going to say, "Oh, look, we're getting lit up by radar." Okay, well, let's go around. Okay, or let's go 500 miles over here. And let's go over here, or let's just jam this thing with a growler, okay? And these little Chinese bad little integrated air defense systems are all over the place. But now, you ready? 12 days later, man, this is awesome. I'm going to do a barrel roll. Yeah, woo! Hey, look at that. There's some camel jockeys. All right, let's go. You want to go back? I'm running low on fuel, and I don't have a lot of bombs left. We got one left. We'll be fine. You're right. Let's go back. Why? Because there's no more, no one shooting at us. We have dominated the airspace. They don't have Stingers. They don't have man portables. They don't have launchers. They don't have SA systems. They have absolutely no integrated air defense systems. We have literally obliterated those between Epic Fury and Midnight Hammer. So we are unaccosted to the sky. So this is what you're going to see now. C5 Galaxy. 17 pallets full of frickin' AR-15s, Sig Sauer handguns, grenades, plastic explosives, tow rocket launchers. Make sure to go ahead and kill a few IRGC for America, because that's what's going to happen. So now you're going to start seeing small arms. You're going to start seeing us arming Iranians. You're going to start giving them telecommunications, radios, satellite phones, all that type of thing, to go ahead and bolster their civilian output. And then hopefully they
take it up.
They continue to keep it. Yeah, but here's the thing: killing 90,000 IRGC military would also help them in that process. But this is where the United States can sit back and use Iran against them with their asymmetric warfare, and we're going to proxy the shit out of them. We're going to hire the Pakistanis. We're going to hire the Kurds in the north of Iraq, and they are going to run roughshod on the north and south provinces of Iran. And that is going to squeeze and bottleneck Tehran. And if you can isolate Tehran, you get Iran. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a long game, but the United States doesn't need boots on the ground. We don't need to bomb them all day either. We just need to send in an A-10 once in a while and drop some napalm or a Moab right on their head.
Let them know who's boss.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay?
Got it.
All right, quick little video, and then we're going to do probably another 10 minutes. Lee Wilson, $10. Thank you for sharing and your support. I want to show you a video that leads up to the one that we just showed you, and this is, there's two things we need to do in this war, and that is to answer Chuck's question, answer Olivia's question, and probably Kathleen's and everybody else's, is where do we get out and how do we get out? There's two things we must do to get out, and this is phase 5. I told you phase 1, 2, 3, and 4, we nailed it. Every single step of the way, this show laid out what we were going to do. Here's phase 5, and this is what we're processing right now. Watch this. No, don't watch this, because for some reason, my audio is being a deek. I call it the Chuck and Kathleen effect. Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm going to try to put this into a quick perspective. It doesn't matter whether we buy into this conflict or not. The debate is almost irrelevant at this point, because when you are dealing with a nuclear weapon, the calculus changes. If Iran has even a 1% chance of obtaining the bomb, then the United States has to treat it like it is a 100% certainty. That is how nuclear deterrence works. You plan for the worst case, not the most comfortable case. And if we fail to prepare for that possibility, we will live with the consequence of that indecision. So everything that happens from now forward has to be understood through that lens. Every action is about reaching one goal. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And that brings us to the reality sitting under the south of Natanz. There are two things that must be done before the United States even considers leaving Iran. Two. The first is Pickaxe Mountain. Iran has been expanding a massive underground facility, pardon the language, Kue Kolan Gazala. what Western analysts call Pickaxe Mountain.
U.S. intelligence believe the Iranians squirreled away what's left of their uranium into what's known as Pickaxe Mountain, a nearly impenetrable bunker buried deep in granite where evil scientists have been working around the clock, cobbling back together a program that was obliterated.
I just want to let you know, Waters didn't even try to pronounce the Farsi. Didn't even attempt it. He just rolled right over it. Pickaxe Mountain, I know I'm better.
During Operation Midnight Hammer. The bunker busters might not be able to do the trick. Reports say special forces might have to be inserted to physically shut it down on the ground.
It sits roughly a mile south of the Natanz nuclear complex and is buried deep inside the Zagros Mountains. Satellite imagery has shown accelerated tunneling, reinforced entrances, and hardened security perimeters around the mountain. International inspectors have never been allowed inside, and analysts believe the halls carved into the rock may sit more than 260 to 300 feet below the surface, and that depth matters. The most powerful conventional bunker buster the United States has ever built is the GBU 57/58 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, the MOP. It's 30,000 pounds of steel designed to punch through deeply buried facilities. It can penetrate massive layers of soil and reinforced concrete before detonating. But granite is different. Granite is the kind of rock that swallows bombs. Pickaxe Mountain was built precisely for that reason. Iran watched the strikes that destroyed parts of Natanz and Fordow and Esfahan. They learned how deep the American weapons could reach. Then they went deeper. The mountain now shields a tunnel complex that analysts believe could store highly enriched uranium or house centrifuge infrastructure far beyond the reach of conventional airstrikes. Which leads to the second thing that must be resolved: the uranium itself. Iran has already enriched uranium to 60% purity at Natanz, which is dangerously close to weapons grade. That material only needs further processing to reach the 90% threshold, which is required for a nuclear weapon. And experts have been blunt about the reality. Even if airstrikes cripple facilities, someone still has to physically secure or destroy the nuclear material. Analysts say that could require a major ground operation of special forces, because uranium itself cannot simply be bombed away once it is hidden deep underground. That is the hard truth. No pun intended. Air power can destroy buildings, it can collapse entrances, it can shatter centrifuge halls. But if the enriched uranium survives and remains under the control of the regime, the program is not finished, it's just delayed. So, before anyone starts talking about ending the conflict or bringing forces home, these things need to take place. What are your thoughts? Send in special forces or continue to bomb it for eternity? It's a tough question. Sherry Starr with the comment of the night: we shouldn't take Iran for granted. It's pretty good. I gotta say, that's pretty damn good. Thoughts? We put special forces in, Kathleen, at a limited capacity, maybe with the help of Israel, British SAS, and a few other countries, Australian Guard. Go in. And are you, this is to everybody, are we willing to protect our soldiers and other country soldiers enough to use chlorine gas? All you've got to do is drop 2 chlorine gas bombs in those vents, and you're going to kill every single person in there, and then you can go in and mop it up.
What's chlorine gas?
I just told you.
Yeah.
It's completely against... Yeah. It's a war crime, but so are sending cluster munitions into Tel Aviv and all over the country, which they're doing. We could also put some sort of gas in there that wipes them out. But in the end, are we willing to do whatever it takes to ensure that Iran does not get...
Yes, yeah. I would be willing to.
Well,
yep.
What does that mean, though? I mean, we just bury it and let them uncover it again?
No, we hit the fucking thing with chlorine gas, and then 24 hours later with mop suits, we go in and we kill anyone remaining, and then we blow the living fuck out of all of that uranium.
How do you get rid of the uranium?
You blow it up, or you take it and then dispose of it properly.
To me, that's, I mean, you need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
If you blow it up, does it go into the air?
No, not in a container. You can put a charge in there, and you can 300 feet deep. That uranium's never going to see the light of day. If you put the right type of charges in there, you're gonna. Yeah. There's no doubt.
I say get it out of Iran, no matter what.
Well, my point is that those did not hit the uranium. They're in canisters, right? So, but if you specifically blow them up, it's non-weapons grade. It's going to have radioactive property, but it's not going to hit a water table. It's in a granite mountain. It's in the safest, most secure place in the world. This is why we did underground testing for so long with nukes. That's not the problem. It's when we went above ground that people started glowing and radiating. So, But that's the best way to, in my opinion, the best way you do this is you hit this with chlorine gas and you hit the air vents and you kill everybody in there. And then you go in with special forces and you eliminate any possible survivors and you blow the whole thing to kingdom come.
I would agree.
It's a war crime, though. It's a war crime.
Who gets charged?
That depends on the United Nations. Do they want to get froggy?
Yeah, but you mentioned several other countries possibly supporting it.
You know what? There's only going to be 2 countries that are going to support us using chlorine gas. And it's going to be Israel and it's going to be us.
Yep.
There's going to be nobody else.
Yep.
If we do it, England doesn't have the balls because they're going to be an Arabic country in the next 10 years. Yep. They're going to kill uncles and fathers and brothers and shit that they know that are going to be in their parliament. Australia doesn't have the guts to do it because they'll go the way of England. France might be, they'll supply the chlorine gas, but they won't just deploy it with us. So there's a lot of things to think about. And Mel's here, which is always fun because she can offer some insight. Yes, Mel, what do you think?
Well, I'm thinking they haven't put any kind of GBU or whatever into the heavy water facility, and they haven't flattened that.
No.
The second thing is, with Pickaxe Mountain, they only have to go 200 feet and flatten everything above it, and everything below it will never come out.
You're not going to get. You can't get it. You're going to get 60 foot with a mop 57, 58 into granite. It's not going to do it. It's not going to go farther than 60 feet.
No, but they can keep punching hole, punch hole, punch hole, punch hole. That's what the GBU does. It just keeps mining.
You could put 10. You could put 10 GBU 57/58s in the same footprint, and you're not going to get the kinetic damage that you're looking for. You're gonna close that hole with more granite every time you hit it. It's not the way. It doesn't excavate. It cuts through and it collapses in on itself. Sorry, this is something that I've deployed personally.
No, and that's cool because not understanding the whole kinetic of the GBU.
Yeah.
I'm with granite.
If
I know what
it
does.
it displaces soil like a great. It's amazing. I mean, you'll see one of the things hit, and you'll see 200-300 feet in the sky, soil get kicked up. But granite is just it's an indigenous rock. It does not break apart, and it doesn't do what soil does or reinforced concrete. Concrete turns to pulverizes to dust. Granite doesn't do that. It literally turns into smaller rocks. That's what happens. Then it collapses on itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got that. So there still have to be ventilation vents and whatever to sustain what's going on.
They're lateral.
In Pickaxe Mountain.
They're lateral.
Oh, so
yes,
okay.
They cut them in from the tons, and
that was my other whatever.
Yep, you can't mirror. They can't do the same thing they did in Natanz and Fort Owl, which is mirror the ventilation shafts. But they can drop chlorine gas in those fucking things, and literally put industrial fans in there, and just anybody that pops up. I mean, you're talking about. Can you imagine? You put 2 helos in there. You hit it with chlorine gas from above. Then put 2 helos in there, and any resistance that tries to goes up are going to climb up a mountain to fight you. Can you imagine just what the United States would be able to do to any resistance coming up trying to engage them on those ventilation shafts? I don't think you're going to have to use gas.
But it doesn't have to be chlorine gas.
No, but
there's other gases.
Right. But not as effective. But not as effective.
No. Well, you can put enough other gas in there that can shut things down for 48 hours or 72 hours.
Sure.
And then the troops can go in and do whatever without the effective and the war crime people that are going to regret us and the whatever about the chlorine gas, whatever. Like
we could release some goats. We could throw some goats up there that are really sexy and shave their asses. And that.
Why don't we just send in a few pigs and they'll just run away from them?
Yeah, just throw bacon in the air vent.
It's all lateral. But anyways, they never did bomb the heavy water.
You're right.
Facility.
Yep. So it's all good points.
There's other things they can do in the meantime, and and take the cover off of what they've just put that new cover over the other facility, whatever.
Yeah.
Natons.
Yep.
Yeah.
The problem
There's
that I
things
have
they
with
can do in the meantime, but yeah.
The problem that I have with any other gas, just real quick, guys, and I just, the only other problem I have without using any other gas than chlorine is you want them to use chlorine because it's going to dissolve mop suits and it's going to dissolve masks because you know they're going to have some sort of countermeasure. You use chlorine because it's going to eat through everything and you're going to kill them. And that's, what you don't want to do is walk in there and use some sort of nerve agent and then literally have to do wet work. You just want to go in there. You want to blow it up, give them a shallow grave, let them meet Allah with 72 virgins with some, corroded skin. But that's okay. They throw acid on women, so they'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, they could just say, well, we just poured acid down the whatever. Yeah. They don't have to declare what they use, like whatever. Like,
we could put Olivia's cooking down there and wipe them all out. Oh. So, sorry.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Guess what? You gotta cook this next week.
All right, I got to get these two kids to bed because they got an early rise tomorrow. So I want to say I love you, Mel, and I appreciate it.
I love you, Chuck. I love you, Kathleen.
Thanks, Mel. Thanks for everything you do for the show.
Love you guys.
I love you guys.
Thank you,
Mel.
Mel.
Love you.
Love you guys. All right, listen. Last one. We're going to go out on this, and this is good enough, and we'll call it a night.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie. $5. That means so much to us. We can't thank you enough. All right, we're gonna end on this.
You've got some competition, Kathleen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have it. You're not dead yet, Matt. Oh, I will. I'm gonna pay for that shit. Trust me, because she's a good cook. That's not true at all. Arizona legislator talking about sports. I figure we'll get the women fired up here and the men will just shut up and let them talk because this one is interesting. Thanks for listening. Here we go.
I've played against girls that look like you. You look very much in shape and strong. But it's a sports mentality when you're growing up and how much competition that you'll take on. So it's not just a silver bullet for one community of sports players. It's the individual person on how competitive you want to be. So you grew up one way. I grew up a different way. I would have taken on a man in a heartbeat. I played in, I was the only girl sometimes in men's sports. But to have a man on my team, I would have welcomed it. But this is just my opinion. So it just depends on the sports mentality of that.
Having sex with everybody in a frat party is not a sport.
Individual. And that's why this bill is bad, because you're just putting a whole community of women's sports in one category. When women like me, we have a different opinion. So how competitive do you think you really are?
Oh, she's woman-splaining. How cute.
You can be in your own category. You know what the whole...
Let's do this real quick since you just put it in.
Oh,
World Radio
$5
donated $5 on Super Chat. Apparently YouTube accepted vernacular Aloha snack bar. Nice. Go ahead, Liv. And then Kathleen, you take us home and we're out of here.
So the whole thing with men in women's sports is men are stronger. It's to put it into terms that maybe she can understand. It's like, in elementary school on the playground when you had the two kids, the popular kid and the dorky kid, and we got to pick our teams, and you had a full team of jocks and popular kids, and you had a team of freaking nerds and wimpy kids who got their asses handed to them every freaking time. That's what it's like. I know you're on the nerdy team. I know.
Stop.
I mean, that's why in PE, the coaches specifically split up half and half. The teams were half girl, half boy, even in elementary school and middle school, because if it was the other way around, the girls would always get our asses handed to us. Boys are stronger. And when it comes in elementary school, maybe. Middle school, high school and anything above, absolutely not. I mean, Ethan is 12. He's 1 inch shorter than me. He wears shoes that are 2.5 sizes bigger than me, and he's getting strong, and he doesn't realize his own strength because his usual play hits or whatever he'll do to me, they freaking hurt now. And he's 12, and he doesn't realize he's so strong, and he's only 12. You can't have adult men in women's sports. Women get hurt. Yeah. And plus, I don't want my daughter seeing a penis in her locker room. Just, done. Exactly.
Speaking of penis, the way we started out tonight when they both walked in and said, hey, it's a little small. Kathleen, you get to take us out tonight. What do you think? What do you think about that wonderful woke legislator who says, oh, well, when I was playing sport, I would have loved to go against men?
I think she has a self-confidence problem that's being masked by her fake story.
Yeah, totally fake. Like what sport? What golf?
Yeah.
Well, it's easy to talk about it now. It was 20 years ago for her, at least, or 30.
Right.
So
it's anecdotal. There's no evidence. Like,
yeah.
What did you guys do? Because can you think? Listen, this isn't being sexist. I don't want to have a child.
It's science.
Yeah, I mean, can you name a sport that women are better at than men? Just one. Okay, well, let's just go to force doctrine. Can you think of a time that men have ever had to appeal to women for their freedom or for protection? No, not in history. Can you, like the Amazonian women who Wonder Woman led still had to get male approval, and Captain Steve Rogers. So like the question is, even in societal makeups and force doctrine or sports, there's just, it's okay to say that. It's okay to say that men excel at sports where physical aptitude and strength are applied, and that if women's rights need to be protected or women needs protection, it's always a man that does it.
Here's another example. Cheerleading.
Okay.
You've got these college teams that have guys and mainly girls, but they've got these competition teams where it's one guy and one girl, and all it is the guy lifting the girl up and she's doing acrobatics in the air, and it's really freaking cool if you haven't seen it. It's awesome to watch. But I have never once seen that team where the female is on the bottom and lifting the guy up. She can't freaking do it.
That's a great point, right? I mean, because just from a sheer weight, you
do
got to
it.
have a guy who's 4'2" and weighs 82 pounds and still wouldn't be able to lift him.
And these are college girls, and let alone, they don't weigh that much. They probably weigh $115, $120, something like that. But still, that's over 100 pounds, and they're just tossing them up like they're nothing. I mean, that shows a man's strength. And even if that man is taking estrogen and testosterone blockers, he still has natural strength that a female
bone density,
does
muscle,
not have. And I guarantee that if there was a man that was pretending to be a woman that wanted to be on the cheerleading team, I guarantee that person would still be able to pick up every single female cheerleader on that team and throw them up into the air with ease. And I guarantee not one female is going to be able to pick that person up.
Jenny, we need you on the megaphone tonight. I don't want to do it. Shut up, Jenny. Get out there and do it. Give me a fucking A. Give me a B. Here's something. Here's just great. Somebody said, hey, what about tennis? Well, you can actually talk to the greatest tennis player female ever, in Serena Williams, who was asked, what would you do against a man? He said, you could let me play against the 240th ranked man in the world, and I would get my ass kicked.
Yeah, Billie Jean King, right?
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
Yeah.
Billie Jean King.
Who she played, but
I don't. She did. She played somebody very. It wasn't Arthur Ashe. I'll tell you that much. It wasn't O'Connor. It was
won.
It was. I don't think she did.
Yeah, I don't think she won.
No, she got smoked. But even Serena was like, I'm the number one woman in the world, and I'm not bragging here, but you can give me the 240th ranked man. She's like, I'm probably going to lose against a guy in high school. Yeah. You just don't understand. It's just a different sport. Listen, Kathleen, you've been so patient in this topic. Is there anything that you wanted to add to it, and so we can put it to bed? Some great knowledge before we say goodnight.
No, because you guys have already really said it. It's just science. And I don't want to bring religion into it, but we were made the way we're made for a reason. And I appreciate men protecting us with their strength.
Yeah. And not abusing it. I think that's a great thing to say. And it doesn't have to be sexist, right? I mean, my job is I was watching Andrew Wilson, and he was having a debate, and he goes, why should I give up my money for my man? Why should he control my money? If I'm the breadwinner, why? And Andrew Wilson just goes, because he protects you with his life and you do nothing of the same value for him. And I'm like, that is so fucking sexist. Then he explains it. He's like, listen, if you get your honor trampled on by somebody, are you going to go fight that guy or am I going to go fight that guy? And he's like, I'm going to go fight that guy. And then he looks at her and goes, do you want me to go fight that guy? And she's like, yes. It's like, that's why. He's like, that's why you should understand is that men have to register for the draft, and that's not bodily autonomy. I mean, we could be killed in a war. You don't have to do that. Men put their life on their line for women all the time, and you nurture and you raise our children and you provide. Those things are all amazing in their own right. But there is no situation where force doctrine is in the reverse. It is the one thing that isolates men and women, that men are responsible for the force doctrine, and you always have to appeal to a male authority for everything that you want when it comes to morality in this world. That's just the way it is. And that we wouldn't have Arabs, and we wouldn't have oppression, and we wouldn't have women getting acid in their face if it were true, because the women would rise up and overtake the men. There's more of them than men, but it doesn't happen without men. It's a crazy thought. Force doctrine, if you haven't looked into it, it's a philosophy. It's very interesting. I want to thank Olivia. I want to thank Kathleen. I want to thank Chuck for being here tonight. It was an amazing experience to have you two in here. Your vulnerability on the show, but also your kindness off the show is amazing, and we really, really appreciate it. Olivia?
Yes, I'm so happy that you guys came out. It was a pleasure to meet both of you, and I hope we can do it again. Either you guys come up here or we go down there at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would love to spend some more time.
This has been a relationship that will continue, I think.
I hope so. I really.
Olivia is a hugger. I'm in love with her now because she's a hugger.
I'm a hugger, but I don't touch people until I get that sign. Now, I am wearing shorts and I'm wearing this is bad. I couldn't find my sandals, so I'm wearing my slippers. I mean, this is a little weird. So
ooh la la.
they are, I'm sure Deb would be happy about that. Folks, we will be back on, I'm expecting some things this weekend that we might have to come on in the weekend. It is tax weekend for us, so it's going to be a little bit busy, but we wanted to say thank you for, no, we'll be quick this year, I hope. Want to say thank you to everybody. Appreciate you. We'll see you guys. Stop on by the show, pick up some coffee, pick up some shirts. If you want to reach out to Chuck, you can do that through the show. I'll forward all messages to him, anything you want to say to him. But we're here with you in your fight. We're going to continue to pray for you, man. And we will see you again soon, both of you, and enjoy your trip to the Mediterranean for sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
God bless
Love
everybody.
you guys.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.